Peace and love, y'all. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S. back with another episode of What's the Word Wednesdays, Season 4, the final season, Episode 21. So I have to do the 2-1. So as we usually do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste the topics down in the comments. I will put up the logo, but again, we cannot share the logo via Instagram. They changed their settings, but it's all good. If you don't know, y'all know we got the multiple logos. Shouts out to the brother Clockwise. We actually got some What's the Word Wednesdays for my alumni. Appreciate you. Thank you for the love and thank you for the support. And again, as y'all are coming in, y'all let me know how y'all doing, how y'all feeling, and what's the word. We are 2 episodes away. The 22nd episode, and then lastly, the 23rd episode, which will round out and will be the final episode for the series finale done with What's the Word Wednesday. So please stay tuned in so you can be locked in and know what's happening and what's going on. But shouts out to those who are already here as well as those who will be seeing this later, whether on Instagram, YouTube, or any place on social media. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to your boy at A.D.V.I.S. Speaks. Again, subscribe to your boy at A.D.V.I.S. Speaks. There will be more content there on the YouTubes, and again, other social medias will be there. But support your boy at A.D.V.I.S. Speaks. Next, for tonight's episode, which again, showing y'all love, appreciate y'all. For tonight's episode, we are going to be getting into current events like we usually do. We're going to be talking about what's happening, what's going on worldwide. Then lastly, I didn't even say lastly, I'm like already over here trying to run fast past it. Then next, we're going to talk about acceptance. And then lastly, we're going to talk about what motivates us to be adventurous. So you will see as this episode continues. And make sure you hydrate. It's important that we hydrate. But shouts out to you, Jasmine. Good to see you up in here, family. What's the word? You let me know what's the word. So we're going to let a few more people roll in. And then after that, we're going to do the show song. And we are going to commence and continue with the show. Because it's important. But again, shouts out to my brother Clockwise for the What's the Word Wednesdays merch. I'm grateful for it. Again, this is right now only exclusively for our alumni. I appreciate those who have been here throughout the 4 seasons for supporting. So you got a shirt coming to you. If you don't know, please reach out to me so that I can get that to you. So I appreciate y'all. Said the word is bird. Of course, the word is bird. And once you pop on, shouts out to my brother, Reflection Error, a brother from another, and always will be there. I much appreciate him. As well as Ty, what's going on? Peace and love to you. What's the word? What's the word? So, you know what? I think it's just appropriate. So let's go ahead and let's do this show song, which I said I would have for y'all towards the end of this month. So just know that What's the Word we'll have in show song at the end of this month. But for now, it still is instrumental and it's still me singing. If you're not a fan of it, it's all good. But we work it out anyways. The word is munchies. You must be hungry. But we here for What's the Word. And it goes like this. What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? Tell them like, what's the word? What's the word? What you heard? We gotta know, yeah, what's the word? Again, y'all, peace and love. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S. And we are here with another episode of What's the Word Wednesdays, Season 4, the final season, Episode 21. Again, y'all, we are counting down 2 more episodes to go. And then after that, this series will come to its climax and finale and be done. You know, I know it's bittersweet, but it has to be done because we will continue to grow from this and we continue to learn from this. But appreciate y'all being on here for this ride. Shouts out to all y'all that's up in here. Thank y'all for coming through as y'all usually do. And again, we're bringing this to build the community, talking, speaking, how these convos and conversations going. So feel free. This is your time to come and join, support, all of that stuff. I mean, later on, of course, you can join when we get into the topics. But for tonight's episode, again, we're going to be getting into current events. So we're going to be reading through the news. That's going to be for like 15, 20 minutes. So if you're not into this, you don't want to, come back roughly around about 7:30. And then we'll be getting into the next topic, which the next topic is going to be about acceptance. It's going to be very interesting. See where we go and what we bring up while we're talking about acceptance. And then lastly, the question we're going to talk about to end the show out will be what motivates us to be adventurous. Because that is something that a lot of people do not have. Curiosity as well as that side to actually adventure out to explore. So let's see. I don't know. But with that being said, and I see all these emojis, thank y'all for the love as well as all the other laughs, crying, all of that stuff. But let's go ahead and get into these current events. So for tonight's current events, I have a few of them from different places in various spaces. If you have any current events or any news that you would like to share, good, bad, or in between, please put them down in the comments. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the love and thank y'all for the time. But first article I got for y'all comes from the Associated Press. And when I read these articles, you do 3 paragraphs and then we're done. And I'll restate the title and where it's from. So, comes from the Associated Press. Article title: Senate passes defense policy bill with 5.2% pay raise for troops. The biggest boost in decades. So previously, last episode, if I was correct, we were talking about the defense budget and them still putting up a policy or to pass within the Senate so that we can continue to fund all of this, either, again, war and funding to other people. So looks like they passed it, as well as they increased the pay. I'm not saying that the troops shouldn't have increased pay. I'm all for, again, getting what you owe plus more. But just where we at with this right now, there is definitely a need for allocating where the money should go. But again, I'm not an economist. I am not a politician. I am in none of these areas. So what do I really know? But let's read the article. Article reads: the Senate passed a defense bill Wednesday, today, that authorizes the biggest pay raise for troops in more than 2 decades, 20 years, but also leaves behind many of the priorities that social conservatives were clamoring for, making for an unusual divisive debate over what is traditionally a strongly bipartisan effort. So there is a lot of that happening and going on. What's going on? Taking Back Entertainment, peace and love. As well as I see you in here, nephew, peace and love. I'm going to see you on Friday. Handle your business. I'm also going to check your grades. I know I shouldn't be doing all of that on here, but I love you. All right. Lawmakers have been negotiating a final bill for months after each chamber passed strikingly different versions in July. Some of the priorities championed by social conservatives were a no-go for Democrats, so negotiators dropped them from the final product to get it over the finish line because they had to rush a lot of these things. So that's why. So the bill passed the Senate by a vote of 87-13. It now heads to the House, where opponents have been more vocal about their concerns. So for those folks knowing the process of a bill being passed and made into law, it starts off, if I'm correct, of course, it's created. Then after that, it goes through the Senate. Senate goes through, and if it gets finalized, it goes into the House. And from the House, that's where they get it together, and then goes to the president. I don't know the whole setup, but that's just pieces to that. So if you want to look it up, look it up. I'm not an expert again. I'm just going off the top, knowing a bit of what I know. But if you want to read more about this and the defense bill actually going up, again, you can go check out the Associated Press. And the headline reads: Senate passes defense policy bill with 5.2% pay raise for troops, the biggest boost in decades. And that's 2 decades. All right. Next one. The next article comes from NBC News. And the headline for this article reads, Judge hits pause on Trump federal election case over presidential immunity appeal. Very, very interesting. I've seen this circulating a couple of, well, not this particular article, but the whole indictment or file case for Trump. So let's see what they say about this pause. Pause. Right. 3 paragraphs and we're out. Article reads, the judge presiding over the federal election interference case against Donald Trump halted all proceedings in the criminal case on Wednesday, today, pending the outcome of Trump's appeal, arguing he's protected by presidential immunity. That's interesting. Past, present, and future. It doesn't say that. I'm just thinking in my head. Only past and present. I shouldn't say future. Past and present. All pending deadlines and court dates in the case will be put on pause but not vacated. U.S. District Judge Tanya, I think this is Chuchkin, added. The ruling does not affect Donald Trump's conditions of release, the gag order, or the protective order in the case, the judge said. Trump campaign spokesperson Stephen Shang, if I said that correctly, called the ruling a big win for President Trump and our rule of law as it derails deranged Jack Smith's rush to judgment strategy of interfering in the 2024 presidential election in support of Joe Biden's campaign. There's another spokesperson who declined to talk about that, but if you want to know more about this, I know we didn't get really scratch the surface of it, but right now it's been halted, and partly because of the fact that it's impeding on the 2024 election for him, as well as I'm really curious about that presidential immunity and how that applies. But if you want to read more, article comes from NBC News. And the headline reads, Judge hits pause on Trump federal election case over presidential immunity appeal. Yes, yes. And I know I have something here also about Biden, so we'll probably get to that in a sec. But I want to go to this next article, which, again, a lot of the news that I get, when I see it, it pops out to me. So I just want to share it because of the fact it catches my eye and catches my ear if I listen to the videos. So if y'all have any news that y'all want to share, please put them down in the comments, whether you're doing this now or even if you're there later. Any type of interaction is greatly appreciated, and thank you for it. So this next article I find interesting because more so after the last few topics we had on What's the Word Wednesday, as well as just for me in my everyday life, thinking about this stuff, different generations that when we are in, whether if you are a millennial, whether if you are a silent era, whether if that's pretty far back, whether if you're Gen X, you got Gen Z, all of this stuff. This article here talks about Gen Z. We'll get into 3 paragraphs and we're out. But this article comes from Fortune. Headline reads, Gen Z are scaling back on eating out because they have menu anxiety. It's in quotes. They're too scared to talk to waiters, and inflation bloated bills freak them out. Socializing is different in this day and age, y'all. All right. 3 paragraphs and we're out. Article reads, it's the most wonderful time of the year. That's so cheesy, but okay. Which for many means socializing with friends and family, often heading out for a meal to mark the festivities. The only problem is, around any given mixed generational table, there may be some who are accurately or acutely uncomfortable with the situation. Gen Z, who are currently aged between 11 and 26 years old, lost out on large gatherings for a handful of the formative years because of COVID and lockdowns. Not necessarily just only that, but okay. With many still suffering social anxiety as a result. From social anxiety, honestly, it's not in there. Studies have found that this has exacerbated itself in professional settings. For example, a 2023 report revealed 9 in 10. So we always say 9 out of 10, but like 9 in 10 graduates say they avoid in-person work events because of social anxiety, and nearly a quarter are uncomfortable speaking up in team meetings and sharing their ideas. But this social anxiety is also impacting young people's social life. Social anxiety, social life, makes sense. According to a recently published study, it's even stopping them from enjoying eating out. And the last one, the study conducted by British restaurant chain Prezio, if I'm saying that correct, asked more than 2,000 people about how at ease they feel when eating out. The group that reported the most menu anxiety was Gen Z, with 34% of 18 to 24-year-olds admitting that they asked other people at the table to speak to the waiter on their behalf because they are too nervous to talk. Again, I'm not only taking into consideration COVID, but the advancement of our culture and this technology. So it makes it a lot more easier to delve into just the computer screen, the phone, social media, all of these bells and whistles. So I'm not so surprised, but at the same time, it's just very telling of where society may be going. So might want to keep that in mind. But if you want to read more about this article, you can go check out Fortune, and the headline reads, it's a long one. Gen Z are scaling back on eating out because they have menu anxiety. They're too scared to talk to waiters, and inflation bloated bills freak them out. Shouts out to all my folks up in here. All that. Much love. I'm saying, haha, you laughing. They really don't like their coworkers. That's all it is. That definitely can be it. And I'll tell you right now, there's definitely coworkers that I don't necessarily like. And what I mean by like, I prefer not to be working around them. But again, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But the social anxiety stuff, like I said, this is a whole bigger issue at hand outside of this, as well as starting from at home. You know, my boy over here doing everything backwards. Yep. You over here about to make it look like it's like I'm dyslexic over here doing all of this. Said peace over here. Oh my goodness. Your computer is making everything, making them backwards. I like how LOL in itself is still LOL, but for sure. You might want to get that fixed, my brother, for sure. Right. Next article I got for y'all comes from The Street. And the headline reads, Elon Musk goes after Biden administration following 900 million SpaceX loss. And shouts out to the company, man. The company, man. Much love, peace and love. And shouts out to everybody that's up in here too. Much love to you, chicken and beef. So let's see, 3 paragraphs and we out. Article reads, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission on December 12th reaffirmed its 2022 decision to reject SpaceX's application for nearly $9 million in broadband subsidies. Following SpaceX's challenge of the initial decision, the FCC said in a statement that Elon Musk's space company failed to meet basic program requirements in its bid to receive funding through the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund program. Interesting. Now, Elon Musk doing a whole group of stuff. So this is back and forth. Again, politics. The program is meant to expand broadband access in rural areas. So again, we over here getting that ATT, that Verizon Wireless, BIOS, broadband, all of that stuff. Shit, saying. I know that you're serious. I can see it. I don't know what you got to do to fix it, but man, you definitely got to. And sing the song. It's already over. You missed the song. The FCC said that after passing an initial application stage, SpaceX later failed to demonstrate to the agency that it could deliver the promised service. The agency said in its statement that funding the request would not be the best use of limited resources. The FCC followed a careful legal, technical, and policy review to determine that this applicant had failed to meet its burden. FCC Chair Jessica Rosenworcel said in a statement. So, I mean, again, like I said, it's just politics. Billionaires talking to billionaires, or at least the government talking to a lot of the billionaires and these business folks. But don't forget that U.S. is a corporation. It's a business. So a lot of this stuff is going to come up and happen. But if you want to read more about it, this article comes from The Street, not the street outside, but The Street. And the headline reads, Elon Musk goes after Biden administration following 900 million SpaceX loss. So yeah. It says, why won't Elon just do all of that stuff in South Africa? I got to let Kim know. We got to go talk to the award-winning author, the magnificent mother, and the poetic poet about letting Elon Musk come do what he need to do. You know, it says, dang, they in my system, and that's shaking your head. They I don't know what you got to do, Chicken Beef, but yeah, you guys to get that all together. All right. Next one. Again, talk about some more stuff with Biden. And we're almost done because then we're going to get into the next part of the show tonight. But this article comes from NPR. And it's under the topic of politics. Headline reads, House votes to formalize Biden impeachment inquiry. To me, this has been, 2 presidents in a row that have been talks about impeachment. It's interesting of why, but you can think of your reasons why for both of these. But let's go ahead, 3 paragraphs, and we are out. Article reads, the House of Representatives have voted along party lines to formalize an impeachment inquiry into President Biden as House Republicans intensify the investigation into Biden they opened earlier this year, whether if it was the laptop with his son and all the other claims. I don't know all of them, but there's some things that I've heard about. The vote was 221 to 212, with all Republicans in support. The vote is intended, in part, to give committees greater legal authority to enforce subpoenas. House Representatives or House Republicans allege that President Biden and his family engaged in an influencing peddling scheme and took payments from foreign adversaries. Interesting. The inquiry focused largely on the president's son, Hunter Biden, and his foreign business dealings. Exactly. So far, Republicans have not presented any clear evidence of impeachable offenses by President Biden. Both Hunter Biden and the White House have vehemently denied the allegations. They denied them. But yes, I'm not going to talk more about it because I want us to keep pushing and moving. But if you want to read more about this impeachment inquiry for Joe Biden, check out NPR. And the headline reads, House votes to formalize Biden impeachment inquiry. Another one that I just wanted to read the headline because I thought it was very interesting, and I'll do a few of them again. Shouts out to NPR. Not saying that I rock with NPR. This is just one of the many places that I look for news. You got a whole span of different places to look to, and don't stick with just one news source. You have to expand so you can see where all this is coming from. Each one has a bias, and you always got to make sure that you don't stay glued to those biases, because then you will pick up those same biases. Keep your mind open. But gonna go through NPR and look through some headlines. So one of them that did catch my eye, and I'm just gonna read it. This one, the headline reads, Fake social media accounts are targeting Taiwan's presidential election. Sounds very similar to other elections previously. Another one, some of the top ones. 5 things to know about the latest abortion case in Texas. So there's an abortion case going on in Texas. Another one. People who have been searching for this song from the X-Files for 25 years until now. Another one. The Fed leaves interest rates unchanged but sees scope to cut them next year. So we see what happens with that next year. Andre Braugher was a pioneer in playing smart, driven, flawed black characters. Shouts out to Andre. And then lastly, it says technology to stop drunk drivers could be coming to every new car in the nation. Let's see. We don't know. But again, that's all I have for news. If y'all have any news reports that y'all wanted to share, please tap it in now before. If not, again, I'll give us some time before we move on to the next topic. I'm going to go through and read through the comments and see what's popping, what's going on. It says, yeah, we're going to need Kim to tap in. Yes. But I know right now she's either getting up or she is getting the little ones ready. If I'm correct, for her, it's not a What's the Word Wednesdays. I think it is a What's the Word Thursdays. Again, I'm not keeping it. It's not a universal time type thing, but it's all good. But if y'all don't have anything, I appreciate y'all. Much love and the support. And before we get to the next topic, I got to give y'all the disclaimer. So now, when it comes to the disclaimer, every time we come in here, we share, and look at, boom, she's already popping in here. You did it on purpose. Look at that. Look at. You just conjured her in here. She's in here. What's going on, Kim? KMA, a.k.a. the award-winning author in just a slew of AKAs. Much love. Hope all is well. Peace, as well as what's the word? All right, let's get into disclaimer. Disclaimer. I appreciate everybody coming through, always coming to give it their time, be in the comments, share, and, give back, love and the time for what we've been building. So this is a point and part of the time where you can come on in and come join for the conversation, speak your piece, and build on the topics that we have. As much as I do love, again, talking to you guys and being here on the screen, I love to see your wonderful faces on here so that we can build. If you are comfortable, you're more than welcome to request and come on live. If not, it's fine. You can stay in the comments. But if you do come on live, just know that this is live. It will be saved on multiple streaming platforms, but on multiple social media platforms, and it'll be out there. So if you're not comfortable, you can stay in the comments. If not, just know that you do wave your right, and it will be out all on there. Other than that, thank you, and let's get back to your regularly scheduled programming. This is a disclaimer. I had to add that extra part just because. But yes, now we're moving on to the next topic, which the next topic we're going to be talking about tonight, and for other people today, or for other people during the afternoon and evening, I'm doing all of them, is acceptance. Now, I usually don't go about and always looking up definitions for certain words, but I think this is appropriate to add on there. So, as I'm looking up the definition, when y'all hear the word acceptance, what is a word that comes to mind? What is a phrase that comes to mind? Or what thought comes to mind? Put it down in the comments. And shouts out to the homegirl Crisss. And we're using Merriam-Webster dictionary to look up definition. So, for acceptance, while I got my folks coming through and thinking about it, Acceptance is a noun. Cliches equals acceptance. Okay. Or clicks. I say cliches. Clicks. I like where you're going with that. Yes. All right. Acceptance is a noun. There is acceptation. That's interesting. There's multiple definitions. We're going to go through the 5, and then there's also one that wants me to go to a different page. But here we go. First one for acceptance, which is a noun. The quality or state of being accepted or acceptable. Again, these using the words to define the word using the word doesn't help. The second one, the act of accepting something or someone. The fact of being accepted. So another word for that is approval. I can get with that. The third one, in law, and agreeing either expressly or by conduct to the act or offer of another so that a contract is concluded and the parties become legally bound. So basically an agreement between both parties for them to legally bond the contract. That is acceptance. Fourth, the act of accepting a time, draft, or bill of exchange for payment when due according to the specific terms. So a lot of this in legal terms for acceptance. The B to that is an accepted draft or bill of exchange. And then number 5 says see acceptation, which almost sounds like expectation, but it's acceptation. And acceptation basically means favorable reception or approval. Again, it's this word approval. So hopefully y'all get some type of acceptation and acceptance, I should say, from this. All these stations and accepts and eps, all of this. But, okay, you're like, all right, you define the word. Now, what are we going to talk about in particular? So, when speaking of acceptance, not only are we talking about in cliques and groups of people, but also we're talking about acceptance of self, acceptance of the choices that you make. There's a number of things. Acceptance of reality in conjunction with accountability. So reality checking yourself and knowing that sometimes you can't have all that you want and have all that you have without you accepting some point in time that something was necessary or something was needed to be done. So let's just pop it off where we want to pop it off then. And since we have it in here talking about cliques, we might as well start off with being accepted into groups and things. And if you want to, please, that is a great thing. If y'all want to put down a whole idea of what you think acceptance is and specifically where in acceptance, please put it down in the comments. I will highly appreciate it, as well as, again, it adds to the conversation. It says acceptance means fully acknowledging the facts of a situation and not fixating on how it shouldn't be that way. Yes. So not that it is what it is, but it's also it is what you make of it. So acknowledging that you know that that's there, but you are accepting the fact that this is what is going to be made from it as well. The opposite of acceptance is rejection, in short. I can ride with that. Now, when it comes to acceptance, which I think that was dope that you did that. When it comes to acceptance in groups, in various different in spaces, whether if that is racially, whether if that is socially, whether if that is class-wise, whether if that's gender-wise, however you want to describe it, there's always that piece of not only just recognition, but acceptance that we do seek from others. And at a very young age, that's already embedded in because it's already coded into the fabric of who we are as people. So looking for that acceptance, the wanting to be a part of something greater than yourself or bigger than yourself, it's already there. And when you begin to, again, socialize, become a part of a group, become a part of a place, whether when you're going to school, whether if you're joining a new job, whether you are, again, finding friends and even family. Again, family is another that goes along with that. Acceptance is in anywhere that you interact when it comes to people and relationships. For example, there's many of movies that are out there with a lot of the archetypes and the categories of people, whether, and I'm just going to say, we'll just plainly say from in high school, you got your jocks, you got your nerds, you got your popular girls, popular boys, you got another word for the nerds is geeks, and then you just have your quote unquote normal, average, just run of the mill student. Within each one of those cliques, again, shouts out to Ty, each one of those cliques, there's not only an expectation for you to be a part of the group and a part of the clique, but there is also, again, the only way that you can stay within that group is that you have to accept what y'all are going to be doing in that group. And like, okay, what do you mean? I mean, for example, I don't know why it popped into my head, but I think of Mean Girls. Some of the girls, again, for you to be in that group, there's a certain way that you have to be, you have to act while you're there in the group. Again, for a jock, you gotta play sports. If you're not playing sports, you're not running track, playing football, soccer, baseball, any of those. Peace and love, intellectual soapbox. What's the word? If you're not in doing any of those things, again, for jocks, then you can't have that title. So it's for you to become a part of a group, you have to accept the fact to these particular terms. Some of them are written and unwritten. If you're not in there, then you can't accept the title of being either a jock, either being, again, a popular kid, popular girl, whatever it is. There's a certain behavior and there's a certain rule that you have to follow while being there. So acceptance plays a huge role in that. And to many points, there can be, again, the pros to that, as well as there can be cons to that. And when I speak about the pros to, acceptance, again, that innate feeling within us is satisfied at that moment in time. You find a group of people that not only you can relate with, but, you start to build a relationship with, and they are there for you. Who knows, it becomes another version of your extended family. However you want to end up, placing it, saying it, but they're there. Another pro for it, again, depending on their intention, as y'all being in that group together, if it's there for an improvement, everybody's in there helping each other out in some way, shape, or form to get better. Most of the time when you're looking for people or you're looking for family members, anybody in your space is always there to help with some type of elevation. Not saying that you need to get something out of those people that are in your circle, but that's something that y'all are all shooting for. So you're all giving each other help. Everybody has a strong suit somewhere. So in those particular cases, when it comes to the acceptance within that group, hopefully, again, the part of the expectation is that, again, you guys are rising higher and you guys are helping each other get there. So, yes, it says getting in where you fit in. Yes. And hopefully, again, that place that you're fitting in is something that's helping you become better. Because if not, the con to a lot of that is it can actually do the reverse. And it'll also challenge your thoughts and challenge your morals and your values, especially if you're seen and you are seen by, quote unquote, again, I'm using this analogy of being in high school and we have all these different cliques. If you're seen as a kid who can become a popular kid, but knowing that some of the popular kids, again, they're not the most humble as well as the most kind to other people in different groups, it might break your value and code of being respectful and nice because of the fact that, again, there's this hierarchy that's being created in their mind. So it can be a con to that. So trying to be accepted by them, in a sense, you can start losing yourself and start losing so much stuff going on. Listen, saying I can now copy and paste YouTube links or titles instead, if you say so. What's going on, Chris? What's the word? We up in here. Much love. Hope all is well, family. I got your shirt. That's all I gotta tell you. I got your shirt, and we're gonna finish it. It says Tiffany's had his breaks down after her addiction landed her in prison. Interesting. So you have to be mindful of that when it's that type of exception when it comes into a group. And again, that expands not only in high school. The reason why I wanted to use it as an example is because, again, shouts out to Ty, as well as you. When I think about a lot of things now, as much as now education is seen and is being looked at, back then in high school, I valued, of course, education to a certain amount, but there's always questions of why am I learning this stuff? And while I was there, I come to find out that it was just a learning ground for the types of folks and people that you will see in this world. And that, like a lot of the songs that are played and a lot of the songs that are all over the place in different genres, there's always that person who peaked in high school, and then after, when they go outside of that, and then they're done. Or anytime we see it's a popularity contest, the first thing to think back to is high school. So high school was one of those grounds for you actually learning a mini version of how this world was going to be. Again, whether if it's different cliques and groups of people, how they interact with each other, and where do you find yourself in between all of that madness? If you was at a big high school, I mean, I was at a smaller high school, but again, the sentiments is still there of how that was set up and how that was done. So, reason why that's also important is because then that transforms into day in, day out stuff now. There's the Bad Girls Club. There's the what's it called? The Passport Bros. We have our left ring or right ring, which again, that's the Republicans, Democrats. You have feminists. You have men's right activists. You have pro Hamas. You have anti Semites. All this other different groups and places that, again, for you to have the acceptance into those groups, you have to meet these certain criterias. And it's important that we speak on it and talk about this stuff because, again, acceptance is there deeply rooted within us because of the fact of the need to connect and build with. Knowing where and how that shows up for people is very important. It says, and yeah.
Hey,
What's going on, Chris? What's the word?
the word is wings.
We always are doing that. And everyone send your love and all of the help and support to our boy Chicken and Beef, because right now he is in backwards land and he's making me
Oh,
use my
oh,
brain.
thought
He's
you.
using my brain so hard to try to figure out what is being said.
I thought you were serious. I was like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah. He's like making my, like, I'm really trying. Some of them I can get, but the other ones I'm just like, yeah, I can't do it.
That's gonna take me a minute.
It's
My
like something
oh, I
yeah,
okay, that was easy, but I'm not gonna read anymore. I'm so sorry.
you're good. Ty Beat said, my group was pretty chill, but known for dressing well. High school was a fashion show. Who are you telling? He said, our school systems were very different. LOL. We didn't have that have so much. Again, I'm glad that there is a different perspective on this stuff, but I know we've all come across types of, again, groups and cliques and this idea of acceptance, at least in those particular terms. But yeah, Chris, so right now we're talking about acceptance. I just jumped into talking about cliques right now because shouts out to Ty, because that was one thing that was brought up about when you hear the word. So he's talking about cliques, so I started off with groups.
Gotcha. Okay, because I thought you were talking about like grievance or things like that, like acceptance?
No, we haven't even
Oh,
gotten to that just yet. But like
I,
that's no, that's fine. Because the
I
thing
thought
is,
that, when I saw the flyer or the poster, I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
getting deep tonight.
yeah. Said TOA isn't a clique; it's a cult. No, and we're not doing that at
Oh,
all. We're not doing
website
any of that.
join. Sorry.
Yeah, everything is because if we're part of the culture, then for
Cult.
sure.
Cult. Yeah.
Yes,
I love
yes,
cults. I
yes.
have a lot of occult books.
Everybody.
I
You
love
have to be you have to accept the fact that this culture is doing a lot of things if you want to be a part of this culture.
Wayne's World is an occult classic.
Just even the names being used like that. Wow. Saying
Mhm.
we have school uniforms at all our schools here, so the fashion show thing only happened during special days when we had to pay to dress up. I will say the same thing. I went to a private school, so we went to the well for those who don't now you know we went to the same high school. So this was a it's an easy thing for me. I was been in private school all my life, so I ain't had to worry about what I was wearing the next day because it was my uniform the next day, so that was not an issue. Uh, but those I agree with you, Kim, on those days though. For some folks, it was to show out and you know let you know what you had. But yeah, we're not into the grievance and acceptance of stuff yet. But I at least like that you brought
But
that up.
self self acceptance, because you're
Yes,
true. Like accept
yes,
who you are.
yeah. Because look, your friend or
Are
your favorite place to look up definitions said nothing about grief. So that's why I'm glad that you brought that up. The definitions that I I looked up,
oh,
it didn't have nothing
Webster.
about grief.
As a stage? Oh no, it's like number 7.
There's nothing on there.
How are you gonna leave number 7 out?
There is no number seven. What do you
Oh,
mean?
in the stages of grief.
Oh, it's literally not. I'm talking about Joe Webster's dictionary not
No,
having a definition for
and
acceptance
that's what
that has to do with
how
grief
Webster leave out step 7.
because they only got up to step five. It literally has five definitions, and one of those says acceptation, and I had to go to a different page to look at it.
And acceptation
Yes,
word.
acceptation.
What year did that word become a word?
We're not going to do the
That's
etymology. I
very
have no clue, but yes. Peace and love to chairman. What's going on? It says
that
join in when I get on. Boy, if you don't
accept
with yourself, you got
accept.
to be accepted into the live to get on here.
Oh, oh,
But yeah, yeah, we always got to play with the words. We always got to. But I mean, round it off with the click stuff. It's
like
very
friendship.
important to.
Like what about so you're going over like friendship dynamics?
You can speak about that. That's fine.
Oh, I have nothing to say about that. But
My friendship dynamics. Are you sure about that?
and at this big age, yeah, I don't have anything to say. I'm all into the self acceptance stage. Um, I think that's more important than other people accepting you.
Understood.
That's where I'm at.
Yo, what's going on, Ty? Thank you so much for joining in. What's the word?
No problem. I had to get out of my bed to come tap in because I
Eh,
was up to, laid up.
Well, I appreciate it because we already know what time it is over there, and you tapping in at this time. Much love. Go for it, Chris. What you was about to say?
Oh, I love your beanie.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm surprised you can see it. It's a little dark in here.
Oh, you got enough light, more light than on Chris over here.
Well, it's dark up front, but a little the backlight's okay.
But
Anyhow, I just like
go for it. What you got for it?
what topic?
For acceptance, because I know Chris was getting ready to go in and talk about self acceptance, and then she started talking about the five stages of grief and how acceptance
I
is
thought there
not on there.
is there not
It's kind of simple. I just got in where I fit in. I grew up as an only child. I didn't have any brothers and sisters until I turned 16,
Mm,
16, almost 17.
wow.
Yeah, with me being the only child, I was sort of like the kid on the block with all the toys. So everybody would just always pull up to my house. So as far as
Mm,
acceptance goes, I just kind of figured, most people was coming to hang out with me, and most people was just coming to show up, to play with what I had, and I didn't care. Just as long as we had some kind of team sports dynamic taking place, I was cool with it. And you know how it is when you're only child, you just kind of, simple. You just want to play. You just go with the
yeah.
flow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's been my life's experience. It's like when you got everything, people go pull up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From another only child to you, I definitely can say that's another experience I've lived through myself,
Okay.
especially early on, and I learned very quickly how my kindness, because I was wanting the acceptance from other people to again be around me, and I didn't have any brothers or sisters. I had cousins, but again, I wasn't always around my girl cousins like that. I come to learn out very quickly that again, if you're being a little too nice or really sharing with other people, they're only going to be there for those things that they want. It has nothing to do with you as the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. True that. But I'm a '80s baby. I was born in 1980, so I'm a little bit older. So we still
Mm,
kind of had like that schoolyard type of feel. If you pull up and if you wasn't real or if you was just up to something shady, well, just punch you in your mouth and see what's happening and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was back then. It was okay for us to fight and everybody would still be alive at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, folks really don't roll like that anymore. If something happens, next thing you know, people are dead. But that's just how it was,
mm,
coming up. We'll get out there, we'll play, and then somebody decides, they want to do something other than play. We'll just, we'll
yeah,
work it out. We'll figure it out.
yeah.
And I grew
Oh,
up with the fellas, so I really wasn't, not like super super tomboyish, but definitely a lot not like super girly. So
and it's it, and it shaped you to be who you are right now.
yeah, but I was just kind of simplistic as far as acceptance goes. As long as somebody was showing up to play some sports, I was cool, and we all
There it
did get
is.
along for the most part. There really wasn't too much of friction.
Understood. Chicken and beef. Let Ty rock how she wants to rock. Understand? You wanna see the whole face before let she chilling. Let it chill in the back. As
No, I
well
had to
as
throw on that little hat and a hoodie because I was like, looking kind of rough, jumping up out the bed. So I tell them, what you see is what you
got you.
get.
Y'all from the hood. If y'all don't, you just need to do this, and that. Y'all be good to go. Y'all are hilarious. I'm just feeding the baby that demands toast and cucumber. Then I'll join. That's it. That's all they want. Sometimes it's simple. Again, simple. That's all they need.
Yeah,
But I appreciate you sharing that, and really, and I speak on it. I speak on it a lot because it is important that we keep it in mind, just like how we are right now. It's the building of connections and relationships that is important, but learning the difference between just accepting what we're saying now to the bare minimum
Mm-hmm.
versus, you know, not more in the sense of like being greedy, but like I know we can get do more and be better.
mhm,
It it's important that you have those role models and folks that are there to show you that, because then I feel on that road to trying to look for that acceptance within different groups, a lot of people do get lost, and they get so lost that they lose. Again, now this next one going into is the sense of they self, and then not understanding the self acceptance because they're trying to play on a facade of themselves because they want to join the outer group. And shouts out to my boy Jay Preem. What's going on, brother? Peace and love. So again, now let's go ahead. Let's talk about self acceptance, since I know you just wanted to touch on that, Chris.
Um, so that's a whole nother journey in itself that I feel takes time usually. Because I think if you think about it like in stages of development, I think we do learn the social acceptance lesson first. We go through all those experiences with other people, and then it's through the different experiences that we have with all the many different people, then we start to develop the sense of self.
Yeah.
Because like you said, sometimes it take on facades, or we're one way with this group of people and one a different way with these group of people. And then there's a point where we like kind of I think we wake up and we
Mm.
kind of like see like maybe some of the, I don't want to say, I guess you could say like, yeah, some of the flaws in ourselves or the inconsistencies in ourselves, which then gets us on the track of, well, well, you would think, because some people don't, but
Yes.
you then start to get on that train that takes you down. Well, who am I? That question.
Hmm.
And I think that opens the door to discovering who you truly are, and then at the end of the line, um, can lead you to a sense of acceptance of who you are.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty deep. I was just a jock growing up. Sports pretty much kept me out of trouble, and it kept me in a mindset of being a kid. It was, just being involved with sports all the time. It doesn't matter what sport it was, just as long as I was playing something. Because to be honest, not to be braggadocious, but
Yeah.
some of us are just gifted in that area. And when it came to sports, I was just good at everything. It was my gift.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could say, just being involved in the things that I liked and being around people who like the same thing. We were allowed to just keep the mindset of kids. We were just allowed to be children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was out playing sports and, and just doing innocent things. I had people, that were also my age, like in the sixth and seventh grade, running around getting pregnant and stuff. And I'm just like, bruh,
Mm.
you know?
Wow.
So I do appreciate having an outlet of just, being able to be a kid. And I didn't really have to, be too exploratory in reference to, being myself. Because like I said, I was just a natural jock. I just was just good at sports. And I love the people that I hung out with. And as far as my environment goes,
Yes.
New Orleans is predominantly black. It's a chocolate city, you know. And when I got a little older, I did move to an area that was a bit more diversified. But to be honest with you, a lot of the other kids, they were just sort of like, like us
Mm.
because we went through that evolution of hip hop to where people begin identifying with the hip hop culture.
Yes.
So during my time in high school, a lot of the different kids from the different demographics were dressing and walking around and talking and acting and listening to the same music like us.
Identity and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
finding that identity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that was important that you touched on that piece too, because again, environment, it plays a big role of either helping to unknowingly unlock all of that stuff very young. So like again, it comes natural to you versus
Mm-hmm.
people having a struggle to really figure that out. And the reason why it can lead to that road of feeling like you are, what is that, an imposter or imposter syndrome
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of that stuff is because of the fact that their environment was hectic in the first place. So they didn't even get to take the time to know that. And I'm saying not as a kid you have to take the time to know all of this stuff, but it's just there for you, and you was there, and it just happened to come so naturally and so easily. And again, I like seeing these differences too between when it comes to, of course, the generations, because I mean, as of now, that's why when I was reading that about Gen Z, like, man, it's like Gen Z and Alpha and all of them is going to be having so much more of a tougher time. Like, I'm in the schools teaching social emotional learning, like teaching them how to feel sad about things and this about things. And like a lot of that for us, wherever we were, came a lot more natural. We didn't have to necessarily be like, oh, we're expressing our feelings about this because we feel this way. We just knew when we was mad about something. We know why we was mad. And
Mm-hmm.
we knew what the consequences would be if we decided either we gonna go against, we gonna get mad, because then you gonna go home and your parents gonna have to talk with you. We knew what the consequences were. Now it's like the kids is just like do whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, things are a lot different. A lot of my experiences are not as eloquent and full of deep thought in reference to these processes. We just were who we were, and that was pretty
yeah,
much it. And as
yeah.
far as fitting in goes, I come from a materialistic background. I was the only kid, and it's like my parents came from the projects. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? And they came up by simply getting trades. They didn't go to traditional colleges. They went out and got trades that paid well. And there was this wonderful thing called overtime. So it's
yes.
like whenever, they would answer the phone and it would disappear for a while and come back. I noticed we had a whole bunch of new stuff around the house. So as far as fitting in goes or, being accepted, I stayed fly. So I didn't have to worry about fitting in. I was that chick. Like I said, not to be braggadocious, but it is what it is. It's got to be somebody, and it was me.
And again, it ain't nothing wrong about that because there's a difference with that bragging and boasting versus being extremely cocky. There's a whole difference of having confidence and then being cocky. So talk your talk. It's
Yep.
all good.
Well,
But a
that.
lot of my parents came from working backgrounds, though. See, here in New Orleans, during the time, it was still kind of like, segregated a little bit. And when my parents came from the projects, they had like a group of Caucasian people that went out to the projects and they passed out flyers for people to come out, to the community college and learn a trade for free. So a lot of
Mm,
those people who took advantage of those opportunities and went out and got trades came up. So it's like they came from the projects and they never went back. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
when I say they have that hustle and that ability to work and go after things, this is why they have nice things. And this is why they're so confident about the things that they have because they earned it. It's not like anybody gave them anything.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quote a song which is on SoundCloud. Not probably a lot of people don't know about it. I used to go by an older name and I found it. But shouts out to Mrs. Thesis and their song called "Take Advantage." The chorus is "Take advantage of the opportunities that may come your way." So it's important that you do because sometimes you're only gonna probably get that once in a lifetime opportunity to do stuff like that. So please take it. Please do. And speaking of taking the opportunities, I had to take the opportunity. What's going on, Kim, aka KMA, aka award-winning author, magnificent mother, daily poet, all of these wonderful things. What's the word?
I'm so good. No, when I was talking about I haven't come public, but I think it's time I did. But I am almost 6 months pregnant. So that was the baby that I was feeding.
Mm, yes.
That was the baby that I was feeding because that is a weird thing. My kids would never eat cucumber on toast.
Mhm.
But when even this topic is touchy because some people don't understand that they have an issue with acceptance.
Mm,
Um, and it stems from, for me, it would stem from a lack of something in order for you to understand why you need acceptance. So for me, in my personal journey, the absence of acceptance was the opposite, was just rejection. So for me, because of being a kid that was rejected before I was even born, which is a long
mm,
story, I that thing was already instilled into me because sometimes our parents don't realize, and I'm proud that I can have this conversation with my mom now, which made her more open to talk about what she went through during her pregnancy with me, because my father struggled with substance abuse.
mm,
And from the moment she found out she was pregnant with me, their marriage was going seemingly well, from what everyone says. And then the moment she got pregnant with me, and I was like, "Hey, I'm pregnant. I'm gonna have this baby," and then it's like everything just started going downhill with the relationship. So the reaction, like for example, the reaction my husband would have the moment I came out and said, "Hey, we're having a baby," he was really excited. But on the other side, my father wasn't really happy. He was like,
mm,
"Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Uh, but this baby's gonna be taking all your attention," and that was his thing. Like, okay, this baby's gonna be taking all of you, so now you're not gonna be all mine.
Mhm.
And for me, the opposite generally of acceptance was always rejection. And I grew up with that thing of always being rejected. So it also made me always be isolated. So I
hmm,
was never in the middle of the crowd. I was never the loudest in the crowd. I was never the most knowledgeable in the crowd. I was never the most vocal in the crowd. I was more of the one that always went into the background and just wanted to disappear into the wallpaper.
mm,
And for the longest time, that was me because of not having acceptance before birth. And even when we go down to the science of it, now I understood it because I was writing a piece on it, talking about the baby in the womb. Because even in cases of abuse, especially with pregnant women, people talk about the woman. Yes, we sympathize with her. People even tell the story of the abuser, which is cool.
yeah.
Because I also had to take the time to understand my mom, her mindset. because she had a mental breakdown during her pregnancy. She
Yeah.
lost her mind completely. She went through a whole lot. And then I also had to understand why my father was the way he was. What was his mental dynamics? What was his family dynamics? So I had to go through that whole process in order to understand, like, oh, snap, you were rejected. You were rejected. So y'all all didn't know what acceptance was. Y'all didn't even accept each other. Y'all tolerated each other.
Mm.
Y'all didn't accept each other. Y'all just took each other with your flaws and with all your craziness and with all your pain and with all your hurts. And then you got a more mixed up relationship that just was not doing it. It was very unhealthy. And then you
Yes.
get this baby out of it. And it was still not healthy. And one of them had to leave. And it happened to be my mom. And she's like, okay, I can't do it because this baby and you, it's not going to slide. And going back to the science behind the emotions that a mother feeds the child during pregnancy and the environment that she's around plays a big role in the stimulation of the growth of the child.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just their mental and not just the growth of their minds, but their physical. And I'm still shocked how I came out without any complications. I'm very
Resilience.
grateful for that. Exactly, but it might not have been a physical deformity, but it was an emotional one. Because from a young age, I knew in certain spaces I knew I didn't belong. Why? How come I understood I didn't belong in a certain space? I don't belong here. Why am I even here? Do I fit in here? And no child should grow up asking themselves that question. But now, as we get older, we understand, oh, snap, you were born not knowing where to belong. You were born in a space of where nobody like wanted you.
Yeah.
So going into more and understanding more of acceptance, as I mentioned, like even in our schools, they are government run schools, private schools and government run schools. Excuse me, everybody wears uniforms. So there was no thing when it came to the classism of clothing or fashionistas
Yeah.
to the ones that were really below the bracket. In the group that we had, it was more like there was more of racial cliques. I'll put it that way.
Mm.
Um, so there was, because we only had three races in our school. We had colored, which is myself. We had black, and then we had Indian.
Hmm.
And
Well, what's the
colored
difference
kids,
between color? Yeah, what's the difference between colored and black? And I wanted to ask that, like, why do you feel as if you were not accepted from the jump and you live in Africa? That was something I just wasn't computing in my head. Like, it's Africa.
yeah, you need to buy my book also to understand more.
Okay.
but
Making me have to go look for it, but yeah, go for it.
but okay, to break it down a little bit more, I'm trying to see. I think I had one. Yeah, I think my girls moved it. But even the title of my book was "Do I Look African?" or "What Makes Me African Enough?" Right? Or "Do I look African? Do I look African
African
enough?"
enough.
Sorry, here it is. Okay, see. This,
Okay.
and I made sure to use the picture with the braids because braids were apparently a black thing, but braids are not a black thing. It's just a everyone thing nowadays. It's not a black thing anymore. But also what the difference in South Africa between black and colored is colored, which is myself, that stems from a mixture of races. I am part Xhosa, I am part Zulu, I am part German, and some other parts of something I also need to do more research on my dad's side, because on my father's side, you'll see people that speak the native tongue very fluently, which is Xhosa, and they are very fair like me. Their hair type is like mine, but their language skill, the way they speak, they shock a lot of black people because they're like, "What? Where did a colored person come up with this?" Because in South Africa, we supposedly supposed to only speak Afrikaans and English, and Afrikaans is not my mother. So that is
Mm.
Okay.
something that also I get stereotyped about. So in South Africa, colored people, which are mixed race, are not classified as black within South Africa. I don't know about the rest of Africa.
Mm.
Yeah,
We
that's
have our
different.
own communities. We were segregated because of apartheid. But to fight apartheid during Nelson Mandela's era, the colored, the Indian, and the black communities came together to overthrow the apartheid government. Unfortunately, when the new government came in, colored people were told, okay, go back to your corner. Indian people were like, go back to your corner. And also some black people were told, okay, go back to your corner. Thank you for dying and thank you for helping us with your struggles. And okay, now you can go back to your corner because the current government, even though it's black, they don't help anyone except themselves. There's not much help in colored, black, or Indian communities.
Mm.
They see for themselves. So
That's just like the
apartheid
U.S.
left.
government did. You get in office
Sorry.
and they line their pockets. This is no different from the politicians here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think
It's
they
it's
just
just
get to office to serve themselves, and that's pretty much it.
it's just unfortunate that we still try and use race to think that one struggled more than the other. But if people actually go back and they do the history of colored people and black people, they'll see there's not even a thin line. There's no line.
Mm.
It's just the one is a bit fairer and the other one is darker. And the sad part is because of apartheid and the color of your skin being the person that was the oppressor, messed up with some people's mindsets of how they accept
That.
or perceive people that look like me, because I've been in a lot of spaces because of poetry and also going back to coming into that thing of like, okay, this is who I am, and accepting who I am as a writer, and also accepting the identity of what I'm writing about. I'm going to write about being colored. Let me
Mm-hmm.
do it. I'm going to go and attack everyone that says something about being colored, which was the thing of like, oh, okay, your hair is not nappy enough. Okay, your hair is your nose is not straight enough. Because even as a colored person in certain spaces, I'm still not colored enough. Because in Johannesburg, colored people speak Afrikaans. And I don't speak Afrikaans. So I have people coming up to me speaking in Afrikaans, and I'm like, I'll continue just talking in English until I can't understand what you're saying. And then they give me this confused look like, what? Like that very disturbed look to say, what is your problem? Why do you not speak your language? That is not my language. So even with, again, it always stems up to acceptance. Wow, and you chose a
Mm-hmm.
hectic topic because snap. Because when I'm looking at it, even as not just even in my personal life, but even in my writing as an author, as a writer, if I didn't come into that thing of saying, okay, I'm going to accept who I am, number one, I'm very much colored, not just because of how I look, but just because of who I am. Because my mom taught me how to use ice cream containers as Tupperware. Yeah, cool, I'm colored. But in a black household, they do that too.
Right.
You get what I mean? In a black household, they do that too. Okay, because I buy Christmas clothes. Okay, but in a black household, they do that too. So there's a lot of things that I tackled in my writing that had some black people within South Africa like, oh snap, you guys go through that too, or you experience that, and I'm like, yeah. I've experienced racial discrimination from both sides because I don't drink to a certain level. Some colored people look at me like, okay, because I don't swear at my husband and my kids. They also give me that look like, are you sure you really colored? Because coloreds are seen as black people in America,
Mm.
rude, disrespectful, promiscuous, alcoholics, drug addicts. The list is endless. But we are perceived as that in South Africa. If you see a colored man walk up to a black man in a car, or that's in a car, or walking towards his car, 9 times out of 10, sometimes that person might think they're going to get robbed because of that line that was put between us. But again, it also goes to the thing of acceptance. I think a lot of what people like myself in South Africa were looking for was acceptance, and not acceptance of yourself, me accepting who I am
Mm-hmm.
and my role and my space and the role that I play and how I'm going to continue playing this role and grow within this role that I'm creating. But no, they're looking for social acceptance.
Yes.
Hey, this is who we are. We fit in. Like, we here, guys. Can you hear us? And someone asked me that question where they were saying, do you think that the color community is being overlooked? I said, yes, it's true. Because in both communities, when it's in struggle and poverty, we're all learning from each other. But when it comes to climbing up the ladder, the one is pushing down on the other, and it's still not right. So at some point or another, we got to accept ourselves. We're different, and that's cool. But we're also similar. We can eat the same foods. We experience the same struggles. We go through the same things. We all struggling with the hair story. I mean, I grew up, my mom used to use relaxer on my head like nobody's business when I was small. And I was like, but this lady is burning my scalp to a pulp. And now, as an adult, because of my natural hair, and I've, excuse me, gotten to a point where I had to chop all that damaged hair off and go back to it being in its natural self. People were like, wow, is that yours? I'm like, yes, it's mine. We have good hair. African people, we got good hair. No, there's none such as bad hair. And that was something that I wrote about too, because that is another thing that we didn't accept about ourselves. There's a lot of things that we didn't accept about ourselves, but it stems from a lack of something. If you can't not know what happiness is without sadness. You got to experience the one in order to understand the other. So you can be happy but not know what happy is. And when you're sad, you're like, oh, why am I feeling this? I don't know. I don't want to feel this way. I don't know what this is, but I don't want to feel this way. And then oh no, the opposite of sadness, the opposite of anxiety, the opposite of depression is that. So I want that. But if we don't understand what this is, because 9 times out of 10 we experience the bad first before we experience the good. And you also don't appreciate and identify the good before you experience when you're experiencing the bad. The same with with health. If you're in bad health, it's like, oh no, my health is bad and everything is always bad. I know someone that always speaks bad health on themselves, and they'll continue to stay in bad health because maybe they forgot what it was to be in good health.
Yes.
And the one thing, if I challenge that person and say, okay, start speaking good health over yourself, and then you'll start experiencing good health, and then you'll see what the opposite is, and you'll be like, I want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. So the same with acceptance and rejection, also aka delusion or deluded version of oneself or one's image, because we have a lot of adults that have this deluded version of themselves, and they think everybody just likes them, but they don't understand that people only like them maybe because they're always putting out, maybe because you're always paying the bill, maybe because you're always buying drinks for people, maybe because you're always that person that's like, let's go.
I ain't doing that. You better have your own money.
Exactly. But then when they go home and when they're on their own, they feel completely nothing, which means there is a big lack of one's acceptance. In order for you to even understand that I have a problem, sit by yourself. I always used to say that to my husband. I was like, I know I have a problem now because I can't sit on my own and just sit still and be quiet. I'm like that there's something wrong. If I can't have peace and I just sit and be quiet and still, there's something not right. But the moment you can be still and even sit with someone and you watch them, if they're those people that are always breaking the silence and they always have to talk about something, anything, there's something not right. There's something genuinely not right. And I'm gonna land my plane on that.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because some people do try to buy their acceptance. I had a friend that I was enlisted with in the Air Force that was always doing things for people that didn't deserve. And those of us who were his world friends that tried to tell him that, he would never want to listen. It was just like, bro, we're in the military. We get paid on the 1st and the 15th. And when you're, on the enlisted side and on the officer side, we ain't really making a whole lot of money. So it's just like, why you opening up a tab at the bar for these niggas? You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna call it how I see it. You know what I'm saying? There's a
Yes.
difference between your honest friends and good black people and these fucking niggas. So I'm just like, why you opening up a tab for these niggas, man? Those are not your friends. And the moment that you need something, you call them. They ain't gonna pull up. We gonna be the ones who pull up. So why you keep on catering to them? And we had to keep telling this boy the same thing over and over and over. And it took him forever to listen. I said, so it took you 3 times to bend over to touch your toes for these fools to kick you in your ass? What's wrong with you? But he finally got it. But some people, they have hard heads and they try to fight to
Ooh.
fit in. They try so hard to fight to fit in, but sometimes when your friends are like that, after you speak to them so many times, you have to pull back
Mm-hmm.
and be like, okay, since you won't listen and you want to learn that hard lesson and you want to feel this thing, go ahead on and feel it because we tried to save you.
Mm-hmm.
Try to warn you, try to tell you numerous times again. You just
Right,
didn't want to hear it,
right,
didn't want to listen at all.
right. And then we
And
were roommating too, and he's bringing all these MFs to the house and everything. And I'm just like, yo, there's 3 houses. I mean, there's 3 rooms in his house, and there's 3 other people. So why are you inviting these clowns into the house without talking to us about it first? He bringing the fools in. I was like, man, get them niggas from out of here. And I'll say it in front of him. Fucking hell, get your ass from out of here. And they're looking like, who is she? And I was like, you go find out who I am. Go get your ass from out of here.
That part.
you're gonna
That's how they
accept
gonna
this
do. They'll
fact
pull
that you
up.
ain't supposed to be here. Get him out.
Right, they want to pull up. They want to eat all the food. They want to do this and that thing and never contribute to nothing. And then when everything's gone, like when the party's over and the buffet's empty, they're heading out the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yep.
Man,
That should be the result of non-acceptance. That is the outcome of non-acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
You left with the bill. You left with the dirty house. You left with everything that like and you still left with the hangover. So,
Right. And it's like, I grew up as an only child. It's like, I don't need no company. I'm not one of the types, I don't need to be attached to nobody at the hip.
my goodness. Man, y'all is just spitting. That's all I had to end up saying. Um,
Well, like I said, I come from a different generation and I'm a part of a different demographic. I'm one of them chicks. I grew up with the fellas.
yeah,
And you know what time it
yep.
was. You
yes.
know what time it was. And I'm real old school too. I still have that mentality to it. Like, you see somebody got a problem with you, like, yo, it's 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
My goodness.
Schoolyard. No, I'm just kidding though.
I think
It's a
that's why nobody
reality.
wants to go to my house.
Why? Because what? You don't. What? You only have toast and cucumber?
No,
Oh,
it's because there's a cutoff time. You
uh,
can't be you're not gonna be here the whole day 24/7 in my face.
overstaying
My
your
own
welcome.
kids like my own kids, my husband, no, I need to at least have like an hour to myself in the day. Because you can't do that. I can't have someone in my space 24/7, and you need to know when the cutoff time is. Because when I'm out there visiting people's houses, not unannounced, invited, I'm
Mm-hmm.
leaving at a certain time.
Yes.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not I'm not interested. I would make my husband, and it was funny because we spoke about this the other day because now we're at a space where we don't drink, we don't smoke, we
Mm-hmm.
at a complete there's a lot of things that we had given up over the years. And now we were laughing about that the other day where he was like, you used to make me get sober just so you could leave people's houses. They would be like, no, you can sleep over. I'm like, I'm not sleeping here. Boy, you gotta get sober right now because you are driving us home.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
always cautious
No,
about that too because I respect people, people's time, space, and their family. So with
Yes.
that being said, I'm
mm-hmm.
not going to be, at a friend's house and they have a wife and children to cater to, and it's getting near to like 8 and 9 o'clock. At that certain time, like 7 something, I'm usually, you know, heading towards the front door.
And I think that comes to not only the way that you respect yourself, but then again, it shows outwards to others. Again, you treat yourself how you want others to be treated as well too. And y'all are dropping again. Y'all dropping so much. I want to say I appreciate both of you, Ty. I appreciate you both, Kim, for sharing again your stories and sharing, opening up to a lot of this stuff. Because yeah, it can be hard. It can be triggering some folks to really speak about acceptance. For some other people, it may be very easy, but being able to delve deep and really talk about where a lot of this stems from, it gives you an open, clear door to know what's really happening and what's going on within your life and also others' lives, and to help build on a lot of other virtues, whether that is, being more empathetic, whether that's being a lot more, honest. And yes, it starts with that acceptance in some way, shape, or form. All right, I see you in here, my G. All right, my brother, Chairman Dallas wants to come share a word. I'm gonna say if one of you want to, and you can pop back later. I would love to let my brother come in here and share his word to see what he wants to be accepted about.
I'm gonna let Dallas in.
Gonna let him hop in and do his
Yeah.
thing. All right, let him go ahead and do that. I appreciate you, Chris, and pop you back in a sec.
All right.
Yeah, if you want to come back, let me know because I can hop out too because I think I probably said enough.
Again, I'm appreciative that you here because again, you in the final stints of this stuff. So just know that they've been here for a while, doing their thing. So you're much appreciated as a new fresh face on here.
Okay, sometimes I'll be kind of worried if I'm a little bit, too hood fresh for y'all.
Um, I'm gonna tell you right now,
I'm ready.
everyone on here is welcome until, of course, I'll set the boundary. But there's only been one person in the history here that has been like, all right, you're doing a little too much. A little too much. You good. You're good. But what's going on over here, Chairman Dallas?
How
Peace and
y'all?
love, brother. What's the word?
Hey, how y'all doing, man? Appreciate y'all for having me on tonight.
You got
Always.
accepted into the live. I'm just playing. See, I'm gonna keep playing with this word all night. But go ahead, my G. What you got for the topic of acceptance?
First and foremost, I want to say shout out to the ladies in here that was really, speaking some hard truth.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just had a conversation, a very intellectual conversation with a lady, a dear friend of mine earlier, and she actually spoke on that too about how people receive information, what they're willing to actually apply to their lives.
Yeah.
She said we all hear the same thing. She said she went to a conference. She said everybody heard the same thing, but not everybody was going to apply it the same way.
Yeah.
So I think that's very impactful that we don't know how many lives that we're impacting when we say something. But one thing I find it is, speak the truth. Because when you speak the truth, God gonna always open that door. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna be a way. It don't matter if it looked like it went left, it went right. I'm telling y'all, like that's when you speak the truth and when you just put it out there, whether people accept it or not, I think that's you done your part, you done your good deed,
Yeah.
and later on in life, I think Miss Ty, that's your name, Miss Ty,
Tyra,
Miss Tyra, nice to meet you, Miss Tyra, and
nice to meet you too.
I think she said something about waiting till life, hit them, kick them in their ass. And
Mm-hmm.
to quote her, and that's so very true because that's something that I ponder. I say, I help people, and sometimes they wait for life to hit them in their face. Then they call
Mm-hmm.
Dallas. It's like, D, can you show me how to do that now? And I'm gonna help you because that's what I do. Like I'm gonna do that. Like I don't never want to see somebody down bad, but I wish that people would take that proactive state and be like, damn, I heard this from Miss Tyra, or damn, I heard this from Miss Kim, or Miss Chris, like, or my brother CJ, like, let me apply this, this knowledge, this wisdom now, so we can take off and have a better life going forward.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. I'm a very simplistic person, and I think if we go out of our way to treat folks well, I think we deserve to be treated well too.
Yeah.
And if you receive anything other than that well treatment that you've given to someone, then whoever that person is, you probably need to have them exit your circle
Yeah.
And
until they learn better. And I don't really try to 100% promote cancel culture because some people do deserve an opportunity to change.
no face, and that right there, that's another topic that my good friend she brought up earlier, where she's this is somebody that's I think she's older, she's seen a little bit more life, and that's something she said as well. We said that it's a lot of factors that goes into that, right? 'Cause we build these relationships with these people. These are people that we love. These are people that we care about. So sometimes it can be hard or difficult. I don't like the word. Ain't nothing hard. It's a challenge,
Mhm.
so it can be challenging, but
Mm-hmm.
every challenge you can overcome. So whenever you're faced with that challenge, it's a little bit like, man, how do we do this? I think you hit it right on the head, Tyra. Like if a person not reciprocating it,
Mm-hmm.
I sit down and analyze it. I like to say analyze it because you have to analyze the pros, the cons, and where you're headed. You know?
Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
your mindset, the person, and your personality has a lot to do with that too. Like I said, growing up as an only child, with having so much, if I didn't have somebody to play with, I always had something to play with.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I was always treated exceptionally well, and being treated well from my parents, I learned how to treat myself very well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when somebody comes around you who doesn't do the same. For me personally, it was very, very easy to let them go because I'm just like, well, what do I need you around for when I treat myself 10 times better than what you do?
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, face. Wait, say the last part one more time. I heard
Well, it's
everything.
like when you're dealing with people that are mean, it's like, you ask yourself, it's like, why do I need this person around when I treat myself 10 times better than what they do? So with that being said, it's like, I don't really need you.
Yeah.
Mm.
But even with that, like even when you start sifting some people out, you start by not even identifying your worth, even in order to accept those people. Because if you know who you are and strongly know who you are, those people
Mhm.
don't even come around you. Like I understand that now because before I was very accepting of everyone.
Yeah.
Snap, I was too accepting. And I know it annoyed my husband because he saw my worth and I saw his worth. Obviously, that's why we together.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
the thing was, I didn't see my worth to the extent and level that he saw it,
Mm.
and it annoyed him because there were a lot of people that I had in my space that I had that were taking advantage on on every level, on a business level, on a personal level, on a even on an artistry level, because they only wanted I was always that person that if I got an opportunity and I got in a space, I'm like, I'm taking a few people with me. I'm like, yeah, come on, let's do this thing. But then I started realizing, no, there's some people that just want to be around for the opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, mm-mm. I had to change that level of acceptance that I was also in. I was like, yeah, okay, I accept who I am, but once accepting also who you are, what you do, there is also a certain level of boundaries that need to be put in place
Yes.
now,
Yep.
because it's like,
Yep.
I can't be accepting of everything, because now that means some people are gonna come out here and do some things and they're gonna put your name down because they've used your name to get into certain spaces, or they're gonna take advantage of now your good character now that is being portrayed, or that is out there. Yes,
Mhm.
Dallas.
Hold on. I know you want to go in, G. Hold on, but she got me already coming with a couple of thoughts. Hold on. That's why. That's why on all of these social media platforms there is a button
Mhm.
to accept and follow folks
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
those type of reasons. Because if you are building a platform as well as you are building a brand, you're not going to have a lot of people that you are following because at any moment in time, they link you to that person and come to find out they did something egregious or terrible. That also reflects back on you as a person in your whole entity. So then that's one reason why, of course, you don't want those acceptance and stuff going on. And I'm glad that both Tyra and Kim, you touched on it, because this is one thing I really noticed as I started to get not only older, but just more
Mhm.
into accepting myself. I used to have a huge problem because of a number of few reasons. One, being the only child. Two, not
Mhm.
having a male role model in my life after my grandfather passed.
Mhm.
So a
Okay.
lot of that was me searching and looking for another male to, help me figure out, okay, why am I feeling this like way, and why am I going about doing a lot of these actions that I was doing? So I always got myself into a lot of trouble. People might not know, but yeah, I was a class clown. I was over here just getting myself into situations that I know I shouldn't have been getting myself into. I was getting bullied. There's a number of things that was going on and happening. But what also was happening during that time, and which was a hard one for me to really take on until I started really getting through it in high school, is where a lot of that change happened, was this was the biggest one for me. I got made fun of my skin color throughout my school career, but
Heck, where did you
really
live?
harsh. Look, this is ridiculous, from people that look just like me. That's how
Really?
ridiculous it was. Yes, that's how
That's
ridiculous it
crazy.
was. You know, giving me the African booty scratcher and all these other different stuff. Calling me Milky Way, calling me all of these chocolate bars that you can think of, Hershey's. I got Akon before. There's a number of things that was like happening when it came to, again, making fun of my skin. And part of it too is I started learning when we talking about these clicks and stuff. For some
Mm-hmm.
reason, the person, especially for a lot of the popular boys, you had to bully me or, do something, mean to me to get a part of that group. And I found that out very early. And I'm like, okay, why do y'all keep on, again, antagonizing and coming after me? But I come to learn later on, some of them unknowingly was trying to toughen me up, but at the same time, there was no need for that. But that's what I was noticing. But that hatred of my skin started to loom in even further and further. So it was getting harder for me to like accept that fact. And one time when my mom heard me come home and said, like, Mom, I hate my skin. I don't like the way that I look. She was very shocked. She was upset and she was sad about it, but she sat there and talked to me about what's happening, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able again, at least to talk to her and let her know like what was going on and what was happening. But it was challenging because of the fact, again, the outside world was telling me something, but then
Mm-hmm.
my inner self was telling me, okay, why is this not computing? Why is this ain't out there? I'm ugly and this and that. But inside it's like, I don't see that. I don't think that's a problem. And for me being such an accepting person and accepting kid at that time, it was just more so I was trying to get on everybody's good side. And probably because of it too, I was still looking for a male role model. I was still trying to figure out, okay, like who am I supposed to be in the groups with? Like who are like quality friends, learning like all these different pieces while all of this was going on and happening. And now that I've gotten older, I went through that and I
Mm-hmm.
figured that stuff out. The vetting process has been so much easier. There's to a point where, like Kim said, people don't even approach me if they ain't necessary on that level. As well as when like I'm still at this point, I'll be like, if I see people, I'm not like, oh yeah, they look like that. They ain't getting in here no in a circle. No, I mean I'm still gonna talk, be cordial, and talk with everybody. But
Mm-hmm.
like the unwritten rule for some of them is like being around him. Yeah, I know there's an expectation. He don't do this, he don't do that, and like I
Mm-hmm.
have respect for that. And at the same time, he shows respect for me. So like we have that understanding without even have to be said or done. It's just the way that I move. So like learning that process as you go on, it starts to get a lot easier when you again get into groups and you start not only learning more about yourself, but start growing even further. Those people weed themselves out.
Yep.
Yeah, I was
Because you
really
no longer
surprised to
get
hear you say that.
And
I was
also,
really surprised to hear you talk about the color aspect. Like I
I
said,
know
New
with
Orleans is.
Kim, I know. I mean, I learned something. I learned something new. I'm grateful Kim talked about that too. But go ahead, Tyra.
Yeah. And
no,
I was just surprised. So, like I said, with New Orleans being predominantly black, I really didn't experience a whole lot of that, in reference to like the kids getting after each other in reference to skin color. I just didn't see it a whole lot growing up. And, here, because of the history of slavery, a lot of us are mixed with something, with the
Mm,
commingling. You get what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of us, people here in this city, we tend to look Caribbean, meaning, that basically everybody's mixed. We have all types of shades of black people out here. And honestly, my mom is probably like a shade or two lighter than Kim.
mm.
So I was kind of like, taken aback when you said that the kids were calling you names because of the color of your skin. And I was just like, no, we really don't have a whole lot of that here. It's like if the kids kind of got on you, it's because of your appearance, meaning that, you probably didn't come to school with clean clothes, or maybe you didn't have a haircut. Basically, if you were like dirty, the
Yeah,
kids, get after you. But after, honestly, I didn't really witness or see a whole lot of
that was my homie.
colorism.
That was my homie. We would get on him about having the mismatched socks and shoes and stuff like that. But more so, a lot of it also was done in, of course, in love, because we just like, bro, why you gonna come here with flooded pants and then like, what's wrong? Why you got opposite shoes? It's not even
Yeah,
opposite day. Like,
yeah.
yo, like, what are you doing? But no, and I think too, it also comes back to what system like you're within when it comes to the schools. I was in a private school, and all we wear was
Mhm.
uniform. So it to me, when it comes to the whole how you're looking and other things like that, I think again the kids were bringing baggage there that they didn't know that they was bringing. So instead of I
Mhm.
can't talk about how you looking, because guess what? We all look the same if we wearing some of the same clothes, black shoes, white shoes. Like they ain't much of that. And most of us is clean coming there because I mean your parents is paying you for to go to school. So you definitely gonna be looking clean unless something else is going on. But they're just like, okay, what else can we look to do? And I would say, Tyra, unfortunately, in my particular case, I mean, I wasn't the only one, but I was definitely one of the ones that was made fun of. Even come to find out, there was a kid who specifically did it to me. And later on down the line, I come to find out he's a cousin of a cousin. So I had even one of my cousins who didn't even know that we was related was one of the main bullies. Ridiculous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just kind of always, get that response or this internal feeling when you mention the word bullets, because like I said, how we were joking during the last time
Yeah.
that we had this conversation, I have no problems with no bullets because I was nice.
Yeah.
You try some shit with me, I was gonna beat your ass.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying. Like I may be nice, but my hands are nice too. You figure out which one you want to deal with that day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, that's where I had to learn not only that self-acceptance of being able to stand up for myself. Because again,
Yeah.
growing up in the environment that I'm here right now, this is the funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the school there was predominantly black, the area that I'm in right now is predominantly Latino, Hispanic, however you want to use that. That's the area I'm in right now. I didn't have too many of those issues besides maybe a tidbit of like prejudice and racism here, but I didn't notice that as a kid. I just kept trucking. It didn't matter. I'm like, I'm still gonna play with you. I don't care. Like whatever.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah,
school,
but honestly, yeah.
but because at school, and again, my mom, she had a lot of these books about, the culture, about the people. So like my mom, like already in my head, even though I wasn't like fully attuned to it, she was already showing me to like, love, your black, counterparts and everybody that's there. So like, that was like already in my head. It's like, that show the utmost respect, but then I notice I get the most disrespect from. So then that's why it was like a, cognitive dissonance. They're like, I'm supposed to like, be respectful, show love to y'all, but then at the same time, like I'm getting the opposite. Like I'm confused. Like
No,
what's
yeah, you just have to
happening?
learn. You just have to learn how to toughen up. But like I said, with me growing up around the guys all the time, I don't know what it is about y'all, but y'all always be wanting to teach the girls how to fight consistently and constantly all the time. So I
Yeah.
think that's where it came from. That's why I kind of, gathered an attitude from, because it's like, I'm nice, but if you push me, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm 44 and I'm
Yes.
still about that work. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I'm still about that work. It's like I'll still tear that ass up.
Just know, y'all, the bullying didn't take long to stop. Don't worry, it didn't, but it took a minute. But yeah, it didn't continue after the next grade. It was
Yeah,
all put to bed, and it was just like, oh, he finally gets it now. And then
yeah.
everybody switched, and they want to be your friend. That's the ridiculous thing.
That's a life lesson right there. That's a life lesson. It's like I'm nice, but you can tap it to the other side if you want to.
Yes.
Or what was that? With that favorite phrase that everybody like? F around and find out.
Mm,
So
go for it.
how you doing, Miss Kim?
I'm good at you. He was waiting so patiently. I'm like, okay, Miss Dallas, come back. We want to hear what you gotta say.
He's like, we ready for this interview? I have the pen. Okay, I have my questions. All
I'm
right, let's
like,
get to it.
he's making my throat go dry a little bit. Like I'm like, okay, I'm scared of this one. I don't want to be interviewed by Dallas boy. I don't.
What's
This is chairman interviews. All right, let's go.
Hey, you feel me? I got a few questions though. Well, I got a few things I would like to say. So the first thing is I ain't spoke to Miss Kim in a while, so hey, we definitely got it up. And then yo, CJ, shout out to you, brother. You already know what we talk about, and I'm it's not a me thing, but still proud of you, man. Like just being able to identify those things about
Mm-hmm.
about having that male figure.
Yeah.
Shout out to you for being able to identify that and then work through that. You already know. And the other thing that you mentioned about not following everyone back, because then
Yeah.
people with that person, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
something myself go through. People will follow me. They like my vibe. They meet me.
Mm-hmm.
Person, or some people just reach out to me on social media, and they're like, some people that they be like, they'll make a joke like, "Ah, you didn't follow me back," or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really respond to it at this point because I'm like, you're not gonna understand. I'm not gonna give you an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like excuses, and then you're not gonna understand. So because if you did understand, you, in my opinion, you wouldn't trip on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely for those reasons. Like I like to, I got my own vetting process and how I go through these things. So I think that's an important thing about that
Mm.
you talked about. Now, what was your specific question about acceptance? Because I never got that part. I joined in and I never got the question.
There's no question. It was just a free for all on the topic, and I mean, we started with clicks. Shout outs to Tyra, and then coming
Mm.
from there is however you interpret it. Because the beautiful thing
Oh,
about it is, I can
one
go
more
and
thing.
look at the definitions. Hold on, I can go look at the definitions, and I can give you the definitions. And sometimes I'll forget, and I'm glad that when Crisss was in here, she was talking about acceptance from the point of grief, and I'm like, it wasn't even here in the definitions. Because again, we're here building because everybody has a whole thought process, and the beautiful part of it is because I don't bring that up, it gets brought up, and then something sparks in me, and then again we all get those throwing again going back off of each other. So it's just like reminding ourselves that a lot of that information is already been there, but then just bringing it back up to then have those shared experience to be like, yeah, okay, you have been through that too. And I'm like, oh, you understand that too. I didn't even think about it that way, but now that I can take that away, now there's something else I got in my backpack.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Zero, I saw you in the chat, man. Shout out to you, Zero. That's another thing I wanted to get off, man. I miss you, brother, man. Yo, we gotta get up soon. That's the one that's in Saipan, right?
And where? Oh yeah, yes. He was out here in the States, which I finally got to meet him. That's my brother from another. But yeah, he's back in
Mm-hmm.
Saipan doing his thing again. So shouts out to the brother Zero.
Shout out shout out to Z out there, man.
Which some of you already gonna know now is about to happen on Monday, but for him that would be a Tuesday. I'm actually gonna be interviewing him for more interviews. He has a project that he's putting out or has put out, and we're gonna be talking about it. So y'all can tune in for that if y'all want to. But I appreciate y'all's time regardless. All right, go ahead, Dallas.
Nah, definitely. And yeah, I remember, boss, man. I remember things that are very impactful. That's how my memory works. A lot of the times, if I forget, I forget. Like if I wholeheartedly forget something, it wasn't important. I
Mm,
promise you. Life is short, but it's long. And life is short in the sense of I don't think people should just be remembering every little thing that come across their way. Because some people come across with nonsense. I think Miss Tyra touched on that earlier. Some people just come across your face with this. Shout out to one of my advisors. He he would always tell me. He said, "I got this process." He said, "Whenever somebody comes to me with a problem, you can only tell me that problem once.
mm,
Because if you tell me a second time and I've given you a solution, that means you're not really wanting to fix that problem. You just want to keep talking about it."
Yeah.
And I'll pick that up wholeheartedly and put that in my bag because that's something that I do. Whenever somebody comes to me, um, excuse me, whenever somebody comes to me, whether that be, we doing business together or somebody in my personal life, you got one time. I don't I don't have the money. Okay, I'm gonna give you a plan. At a time, I'm gonna give you a plan. Anything else behind that, I'm instantly already, I'm turned off. It's other people out there. Like I just posted something on my story tonight. Like literally, I'm on the way home tonight, and somebody sent me a message. I'm not gonna say what it was, but I said like, yo, if you guys saw the lives that we impact and the people that actually need your help in life, like you would go 10 times over versus dealing with those people that is not appreciating you. That's not
mm-hmm.
appreciating that time, that energy, that effort,
Mm.
whatever that is. And a lot of the times, shout out to the lady earlier. I'm gonna keep bringing this woman up because she's super intellectual, and we sat down. It was her going away party today, but I had a chance to sit down with her one on one, and we talked, and she talked about that aspect of people not appreciating good leadership until like
Mm.
you don't recognize a good leader until it's not there.
Yeah.
And
I agree
whoever
with that 100%.
and whoever that is, whether that's you or whether that's somebody in your life, you know, I would say key those people.
Mm-hmm.
People they got it's different about them, but keen in on those
Yeah.
and don't
Yeah,
feel
when it comes to good people like that, people don't miss them until they stop showing up.
Yeah.
and yeah and don't fit in like and it's so it's ah I broke my pen again. I don't like when I do that, but hey,
So random. You have to accept the fact that you keep doing that, okay?
I got another
Oh, God.
I got another one just because I know I be doing that. But yo, no, for real. So when good leaders come into your life and when they leave, right? The thing that I've noticed is when those people are weathering that storm, right? When everything's dark and you got that leader in your life,
Mhm.
it's like it makes your life easier. It makes your life like you don't have to go that hard.
Mm.
Mhm.
It depends on the leader, right?
Understood.
Because some people gonna push you. Um, but yo, appreciate them people. Appreciate them, and the reason why I say appreciate them and the oaths don't follow the trend. Like, and it's don't get caught up in that trend of, yo, we gotta be this and we gotta be that. Like to
Mhm.
a degree, yes, you need external validation to some degree to know that you're improving.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to use your wits on that. But I'm saying do not get caught up in it so much to where it's like you lose yourself. You lose your sense of direction. You
Yes.
lose sight of how many people that you can impact. You know, whether you impacting people writing books. What do you do, Miss Tyra? If you don't mind me asking.
Former Air Force police. I spent 20 years of my life protecting military bases. So I'm retired. I retired at 39.
Shout out to the MPs. We fought with y'all.
And I still work. Right now, I'm a medical courier, and I like it much better than what I was doing before because I'm actually a talkative introvert, if that makes sense.
You
And in this new role, I have the opportunity to work alone. I simply pick up from the pharmacy. I ride by myself in my car. I enjoy my favorite music, or if not that, I enjoy my favorite podcast, and I just drop off my packages along the way. And when I'm done, I log out on my phone and I come home. It's much, much more peaceful.
hey,
Oh
pop
yeah.
your
And
pop
she
your
doesn't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it too. She also got them beats on deck too. So I'm just
got
letting you know.
hey, she
Well,
got
thank
them.
you.
Hey, I be messing with CJ beats. So if you got some beats,
I
hey.
appreciate that.
Nah, so but yeah, and whether it's through beats or whether it's through, your carrier, right? Because that's the impact to somebody's life. Somebody might depend on that package, right? Don't get caught up in that trend where it's like popping. It ain't hit yet. It ain't hit because you ain't made it hit. When
Mm.
you
Oh, sir, I'm not really into people pleasing now. I did mention that I am 44, right? I'm way past that stage, huh?
when you fact when so many people get caught up in that, for anybody watching, for all those people and anybody on this call, right? You guys
Mm-hmm.
were like, yo, y'all go crazy. Whatever y'all doing to positively impact lives, go crazy at it. Don't get caught up in that negativity. That's things I took away within these last couple of years. I had to deal with it. So and CJ, no, I ain't big on opening up, especially with this, but I
Besides opening up a check, I understand. Continue.
hey look my but look, so real talk though, when it comes to me accepting things, I'm gonna share this with y'all because I really fuck with y'all. I like the energy tonight. It's flowing with the day. We gonna go with it. We gonna rock with it, right? I'm not gonna hold back. So these last couple of years, I've had, and I'm gonna cliff note it for y'all, right? Because I'm not gonna go all the way, right. But these last couple of years, I've had to accept a new life.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something like I had to sit down and talk with myself. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I was
Yep,
like,
yep.
I'm talking about like when you sit down and talk with yourself, I'm like,
Mhm.
damn. and I organized it. And when I organized it, because I like structure, I come from a militant family myself, right? That we do. I'm very, like, if it's not this, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, something is off. And it's easy to tell when something is off. I'm pretty sure Miss MP, she got them organization skills. It's so easy to tell when something's off. And that same thing in
Yeah.
life, right? So in
Yeah.
life, I'll be doing things and people will ask me, like, yo, how did you even notice that? Or why did you notice that? Who notices that? I noticed that. Why didn't you notice that? You're not noticing it because you're caught up in the trends. You're caught up in what everybody's saying. Let me turn these notifications off.
Mm-hmm.
Because you noticed that.
You're caught up in these trends. You're caught up in what everybody's saying, right? You're caught up in all of these things that's, in hindsight, I had to go through it. I see why I had to go through it. But if I could save anybody else some time and not go through it, don't waste that. Don't waste them years. Don't waste that time. I'm telling you so you can jump. The key to life is to get somebody who's been through what you are going through.
Mm-hmm.
They have, and propel forward. If it's a hole in the road, I like to use this scenario. If you're on the freeway and it's a hole in the road, you see a car driving that hole and fall in it, you gonna fall in it too, or you gonna follow the car that went around and got off,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm pretty sure we all get off that, we're not falling it, don't fall in that hole. Same thing in life. Don't fall in that hole. Too many people fall in that hole, and some people can't get up from that hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true because it manifests itself into depression.
Yeah.
And sometimes when people fall into that deep depression, they have a hard time working past it.
And it takes
And then also you have to take in consideration of mental maturity as well. Because
Yes.
like I said, I didn't necessarily like what I did for a job. I got stuck financially because I could never find anything else that was willing to pay me the equivalent type of pay or more with a master's degree. I have 3 college degrees. And you telling me I couldn't get no job nowhere?
Wow.
Like I have 2 bachelors and a master's and graduated with honors, and I couldn't get a job nowhere. So to basically stay on track because I tend to ramble a lot. But the point what I'm making is that I didn't necessarily like my job and I didn't thrive in my job. I was simply surviving
Yeah.
to make sense.
Ooh.
It's like when you do something for that long, you should be like the chief of something. And I was just basically showing up like hey, I'm just here for the day. Let me do what I got to do and
oh,
go home because I don't really want to deal with y'all. I don't know what it is about law enforcement and security,
Mm.
but they attract bullies and shitty people.
mm,
Mm.
I mean, in the civilian war, you're seeing it on the news with these officers attacking people in handcuffs. They're getting caught, abusing these civilians. And I'm like, you're in uniform and you're beating up on somebody who's not even armed.
you know,
Like you're shooting people who are not even carrying anything.
can
What
I?
are you doing?
I want to add to that, and the thing I want to add to that is,
Yeah.
yo, I don't even like the word bully, but I like to say it's people who are not. You said it. You hit it right on that money. They are not emotionally. I think you said emotional, right?
Mentally, both,
Mental.
that's a good one, mentally mature.
Not.
Sometimes it takes some of us time because I was one of these people that to where their environment should have been cake because military bases are quiet. We don't
Mm.
have to deal with a fraction of nothing of what these civilian police officers deal with. It's usually quiet. It's a clean environment, and the only thing that we have to deal with is one another.
And
And for some odd reason, my coworkers they couldn't handle having idle minds, and they just wanted to be so much more than what they were. So instead of them using that time to study to become something more, they will come to work and just be petty and do these negative and toxic things to one another, and it just kind of affected me. You know what I'm saying? It was sort of like being there, and somebody was slowly feeding me the poison, and I was just sipping it in my tea every day. So
Mm.
after I retired, I noticed that maybe like 2 or 3 years later, I'm still waking up angry. I'm still mad. You know
Mm.
why? Because I wasn't mentally mature enough to live in the now. I
Mm.
was like, stop living in the past and think about where you are now. It's like now you have your peace.
Yeah.
Why are you still thinking about workplace trauma from the past? Move forward. So, at different ages, we learn to make the adjustment.
that's why I was
So it's
saying
like,
it's not really, and that's why I said it's not really bully. It's really that mental maturity. A lot of this stuff is
mhm,
maturity. I took when you when you understand the mind,
mhm,
and it's gonna sound. I know how a lot of people gonna take this, but it's the only way I can say it. Right. My pops always told me. He said, if you can get a woman's mind, you can get her to do anything. Right. But take that philosophy. Right. You have to understand the mind. Just that alone. Like you have to be able to understand the mental. A lot of people are unaware of the mental, and so with that, like the brother Avis brought up earlier, you're not you're not addressing why you're the way you are. You're not addressing
Mm-hmm.
even just a lot of people look at the action or the whatever might have happened, but they never look at what happened prior to. What
Mm-mm.
how did we get to that point? And so many people in life, they get to that point of, they get to that point when everything crashed. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
get to that point. And it's the mental maturity. It's the things that we allowed ourselves to be involved in, like how you mentioned, like just being
Mm-hmm.
around that whatever was going on day to day, going through those motions. It's easy to get caught up,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're not aware, right? If you're not mentally understanding of how to navigate that realm.
Yeah.
And when most people become, that's why it's important for people to sit down, have these conversations, have these, hear these stories, hear your story, hear Miss Kimberly's story about the things that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all dropped some amazing gems. Like even before I got on here, I was listening to y'all, and I'm like, yo, they preaching, or y'all need to listen up, because y'all spit game, and I think we could all learn something from anybody. I always say that, like, no matter where, I don't care where you at on the playing field. Like my driver tonight, right? My driver, he was telling me he's Armenian. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, yo, now, this is somebody we good with numbers. Like my brother CJ said, that check, right? We good. So we good. But he told me, he said, yo, he said, you see Rose, he said, brother, who gives a fuck? Rolls Royce. And we were I can say it now. We were in a suburban, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, this is Rolls Royce,
Hmm.
right? Because we get caught up in these facets of like, yo, you have this, your life is this. People deal with the same problems. We all people. It's about how we go a matter of with those things. Like me personally, I can't complain about nothing going on in my life because I understand what I'm working towards. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
can't. Whatever happened on me, whatever happened in my life, I'm like, bitch, that's not me. But it's somebody else that can do that. But guess what? When they do that, it's gonna take up so much time.
Yeah.
They could have been doing something else. They could have been out here spreading some good words. They could have been working on their craft. They could have been, yo, I need to write this book. I need to get.
Mm-hmm.
I need.
Become an award-winning author. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You feel me? You
Let's
feel
go.
feel me? And those are the things that we need more of in this world. And no matter what society tells y'all, that's the stuff that's being overlooked. Even the stuff that y'all see on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people will tell me like, yo, you didn't see that? I'm like, see what? They're like this. I'm like, no, it's not. It's
No
not.
FOMO.
It's not impacting my life.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you saw,
Yep.
it's not happening in my life. Even when COVID happened, I'm gonna tell y'all something so true, and this is when I realized like God touched my soul. Like I knew he been with me, but I'm talking about when COVID happened, everybody was going crazy. Everybody was like, right? I'm looking at everybody, people coming to me, and I'm like, they like, bro, you ain't like, bro, I'm good. My life is still good, but I didn't understand why my life was so good. I had a recession-proof skill set. I had
Mm-hmm.
at a job too. Like I was just now transitioning to not having a job. But
Mm-hmm.
the job I ever worked was security. I told everybody like, yo, security.
It's an easy check, bro. I
Man,
couldn't tolerate the people. And when I say I was making money fist over hand, I got tired of being in a situation to where I'm rolling in the dough, but I'm miserable every day.
and they was looking over that. A lot of people looked over that and said they really fell on hard times, and it was like, hey, what's up with that security company you was telling me about? I got you. But you
Yeah, I
wait.
think a lot of the jobs that are available are wonderful. It's just the wrong element of people tend to make them
Yep.
miserable, and
Yeah.
and that's what happened with me.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And
And
I
we're not gonna make it all bad. You do get around some good people. Like I work with
yeah.
some people. I do understand the culture that you're talking about. That we had them supervisors, right? We had them people that make the job harder than what it really was. And
Yeah.
like, yo, for example, I worked at the USC Medical Center in Los Angeles during COVID,
Hmm.
and we had the night jumping. It was this older lady, me, and another lady. But we had that zone jumping, like from the nurses to the doctors. When I
Hmm.
showed up, it was on and cracking the moment we showed up. Like, cause
Okay.
we wanted to see everybody smile. It was enough
Hmm.
on in the world. And shout out to her, rest in peace, because her sister actually called me, and told me that she passed. But super sweet lady,
Oh.
never made the job hard. She always was talking about fuck them supervisors, all this. Like I was, but in a nice way though. But it was
Mhm.
fun as hell. Like so, but yeah, people we do sometimes get the wrong people in them positions that make that job and make those environments. Like yo, I don't even want to work here. I don't even want to be here.
Yeah, I never went back. It's been 4 years for me. I retired in 2019, and this year when I started working as a medical courier, I had found a job just in time because I was living off of my savings. And right before everything ran out, I found a job just in time. So I'm working and then I'm recovering,
Mm.
and then the company loses the daytime contract,
Wow.
and it hurt me financially. And then I had somebody call me out on a whim, offering me a security job that was paying $25 an hour to just be walking around in the tourist area of the city, and I turned it down cold. And I needed that money like yesterday. And I was just like, look, I didn't have 20 years of dealing with nonsense. It's like once you identify with having trauma that's related to your workplace in a specific profession, it's like you have to get to a point to where you want to live life fully. It's
Yeah.
like, I need this money, but I need to find another way. It's like,
Yes.
I'd rather have less because I can't go back to being financially liquid again and back to being miserable. I only have one life to live. I'm only going to be here one time, and I want to live well.
Yes. And with finding another way and wanting to live well, I'm gonna go into the last topic for tonight, so then we can continue moving it. This is like y'all have had some good segues, and I'm gonna segue on
Yes,
that
it's
one.
getting late.
Yes.
I'm getting tired. Hey,
Tyra,
let me chime
Before
up so I can let let the other young lady back in case she wants to
I
speak
think
about
she
something.
popped. I think she popped out. If she pops back in, then for sure.
and
Um.
Okay.
Miss Tyra, like everything you're going through, and as always, I like to tell anybody, man, keep your head up, stay prayed up, always. Everything gonna work itself out.
Yes. But
Well, I
with
did.
that,
I made it work. I made it work. I talk so much. I don't want it to be about me because I love to talk. But
we
I wanted to
appreciate
ask
you.
him off topic. It's not really on topic, but when you get a chance, I know he's trying to move on to a different subject. But whenever you get a chance in the next live, I want you to talk to me about why the Black Africans allowed colonization in Africa. Because I can't believe that y'all, that some Dutch people pulled up and decided that they were going to live in a certain area and have all of the Africans and everybody else there in their corner, and you're in Africa. What the hell? What the
Yep.
audacity?
She actually,
So that's what I want to know. But back to your topic, Mr. Addis. So that'll be another conversation for
Ooh.
you because I want you to break
Woo.
that down for
Like
me.
for real, we definitely need to go into that one. I love my country's history, so yeah, we gotta we gotta go into that one. Then I think we need to grab some Congolese brothers and sisters of mine and ask them how the French came in. We need to grab the Mozambicans and ask them what the Portuguese done out there.
All
Right.
right.
So we really need to get those different voices heard in there. But yeah,
All right.
no,
Because I'm
that
just
is
like, y'all go
something we
pull
have
up
to
to a black
definitely look
continent and
into.
go tell the black people what the fuck
Guess
to do?
what?
What the hell?
Guess
What?
what? Guess what? This is the first. This is one of the first times in a while I've ever done this before. But just so people know for what next episode is, you know what? It's going to fit perfectly into the next episode. Next episode, we're going to be talking about, of course, current events. Then we're going to be talking about war versus peace, and then we're going to talk about why freedom isn't free. So
Okay. So
keep
hey, look,
that
I'm gonna hop
question.
out because I have 10%, so I'm gonna hop off and go plug my phone in.
Do
I
what you
peace.
got to do. Much love.
Okay.
Now, yeah. So what we're gonna say that for next week. So hopefully you keep the question for next week.
I
We'd be good.
kill. Let's kill.
That's hilarious. But all right. when it comes to the next one. Last topic for tonight.
wait,
No, last topic for tonight. We're not doing this. I'm making sure that I go to sleep on time. So when I go to school tomorrow, I'm gonna be able to be in the mindset with the kids. So we ain't gonna have all of this back and forth going on. For the last topic for tonight, we're gonna be talking about what motivates us to be adventurous. And I know you're trying to be adventurous, but stopping me, but we gonna keep adventuring on. And the question is, what motivates us to be adventurous?
Go ahead, Miss Kim. Let's hear the thoughts.
Oh gosh, I can only talk from the younger version of me because this version of me is not adventurous at this point.
Yes. Said, let freedom
Nah,
ring. Oh my goodness, why?
What's happening, Chris?
nah, you know what?
Hi, Dallas.
When you, hey Chris, you know when you have no kids, when you have no, well, if you can have a partner, but if you have no kids, you are the most adventurous. Okay, I'll talk for myself. I was the most adventurous person. I was doing even too much when it came to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I think I wanted to experience everything and anything because adventure was for me always learning things. We would go to the extreme when we were younger. We would go through these crazy bushes. I'm talking about like not low bush where you can at least see over bushes with trees that are high up and just go into this crazy walk and start discovering like crabs and crazy things when we were younger. A good friend of mine, I remembered, he's also he's older, he got kids, and I'm like, remember when we used to play, like we used to climb into the sewer pipes, like the the rain into the rain pipes. We used to like slide under there, and then we used to go through, like walk through the one side, and we coming out the other side, and we're like, oh, this leads to there, and we land on the other side of the road. And I'm like, ooh, this is far from home. We gotta find our way back.
Wow.
We were doing a lot when we were younger. We were very, very adventurous. But as I started getting older, I mean, I wasn't even afraid of heights. I wasn't afraid of anything. But I think the level of adventurous changes from the physical aspect to more, I think, of the learning and the mental aspect. Because there is, I don't know who told people that learning new things is not adventurous. It's adventurous, getting to share people's different experiences and say, hey, this is what's happening in Africa. Okay, that's what's happening in Nigeria. This is what's happening in the US. This is what's happening in Canada. And then it was like, oh, snap. That is adventurous for me. That's exciting.
Yes.
It gives you that level also of adrenaline, like to say, oh, wow, I'm learning something. Things are happening. Your body's reacting to the information that's coming in and the connections that we're making. So now the level of adventurous to the level of adventurous before is way different. I mean, I'm even afraid of heights now. It's a new thing. I didn't know that. And like, I was minding my own business a few years ago. And my husband was like, okay, let's go on these cable rides, and we go on the beach in Durban. Beautiful view, mind you, and I love views. But that view I was not enjoying, because as that cable car started going higher and higher, I'm like, oh Jesus, I'm not ready to meet you yet. I'm not for this life. And instantly my heart started doing funny things. My hands started getting sweaty. I'm like, but when I was 16, we did this. I was not afraid of this. When I was 17, I did this. I wasn't afraid of this. But when I'm doing this now as a mom, I was like, oh no, I got people that need me. So what am I doing out here? So the level of adventure starts becoming a more cautioned or safer level of adventure. The level of adventure now is, I want to do things and learn with my kids. So let's go camping. Let's go hiking. Let's walk through the bush. We can still do that. But I'm not going to take Tim to the bush that I went to when I was a kid, because we would get lost at times and we would get far from home and we're like, oh, snap. Ooh, we don't know where we are, but we know we're local, but we just don't know how we got there. But it's different now, because when we were younger, when we were all kids, there's a lot of things we could do that now our kids can't do. There's a lot
Mm.
of places that we could go before on our own, mind you. We could disappear for the whole day and just go play somewhere. And then our parents knew by the time the street lights come on, we already making our way home.
Hey, we
And
they gone forever.
you see what I mean? My mom would shout on the road for me, like
Stop,
she'd be like,
stop,
Kimberly, and I'm like,
stop,
oh,
stop, stop,
Hey.
stop. Don't speak my childhood like you speaking it right now. Don't do that. Don't
Ah,
do that. Don't do that. You got my mom's voice in my head right now, screaming
Oh
like
no.
10 blocks down, and I can hear her talking about it's time to come home. No,
hey,
like
go find,
Oh,
go find
good.
your brother. Where your brother at? Go. He around the. Go get him. Mhm.
nah,
boy,
don't do that.
my mom would shout on the road, like my mom's voice could echo really loud, and I'm hearing that Kimberly, and she'd drag that Y, and I'm like, oh my lord. And I'm the only, mind you, I was the only Kimberly in that whole area, in the whole community. So there was no other Kimberly that they would have known. I couldn't even lie and say, no, it was the other one's mom. And everyone knew it's my mom. So the level of adventures that we had when we were younger, going into places where we could have mud all over us. And, I saw a meme where this kid came home and he was muddy from the head down. And I was like, oh yeah, that was life.
Mm.
That was it. He's living his best life. But kids now, it's different. With the area that I stay in, I can't be that adventurous and let my kids just open the gates and say, okay, go play with your friends. Because I don't trust the environment that I'm in. I don't trust the adults in the environment that I'm in. And I think that's also where we stem from as parents, is where that level of adventure also starts getting drained. Like big ups to those people that go rock climbing and all these other adventurous things. Like big ups to you, because I could never.
Yeah.
My life would be flashing. My life, I'd be thinking of all the books I haven't published yet.
Ah, no, come on, Kim.
I'm telling you, I'd be probably hanging on there like, Lord, if you just let me live, if you I promise I will do it. I'll finish that project that I'm supposed to.
Hey, see, hey, look
But
at
yeah,
that's the day in the life of a award-winning author for y'all. So come on.
no. But you know what? Even with that, that was adventurous. I think for me, that was the most adventurous and out thing that I did so out of character was my book, because
Mm.
I loved that Dallas also mentioned that, and I'm gonna take a little bit from what he said, is where even that acceptance of your lifestyle change, because when COVID hit and you guys mentioned, okay, see hit when that hit, everyone had to adjust. And it was funny because we spoke on this on another live, I think it was on YouTube,
Yeah.
where some good friends of mine were talking about it, and they were talking about the females and the lifestyle dynamics and whatever. And I was like, I loved making money, because they were talking about relationships and marriage and how some women don't want to. I was like, I love making money. Don't even look at me like that. I loved making my own money. But when COVID hit, a lot of us had to learn how to accept that lifestyle change. People had to stick in their houses. Some people had to look at someone that they don't even like. Yeah, I mean, so let's be honest. People were stuck in the house with some people they didn't even like. So it was also that acceptance of that. And also there was a level of adventurous, because I had started the book, but I never finished it. I had everything. I had everything just jotted down everywhere. And it's like, okay, let me just do something out of character and say, okay, and I kept saying that. Even my husband looked at me, he's like, this woman has gone crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna publish my book. He's like, we're not working right now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yep, we don't have the funds right now. Like we seeing where the situation goes with this thing, and then we gotta move and just adjust. And I'm like, no, I'm still gonna publish that book. And he looked at me like I was crazy, because he's like, she's not that extreme. She's not that person. And it happened. That's why I said that for me that was the most adventurous thing. I had to adjust to being a stay-at-home mom, and now stay-at-home business working mom, but also still writing. And when even with the book coming out, it was like a whole thing. My heart was racing. I didn't have to go on some skates or or start taking up a skateboard to experience the adrenaline when going through those, adventurous moments. I
Yeah.
just had to go and put it out there, like, okay, I'm gonna publish the book, and then somebody came into place and like, I'm gonna publish your book. I'm like, oh snap, this is happening. You
Mm.
understand? So the acceptance also of that brought another broadening and opening up of something else. So the two go hand in hand big time, and I didn't understand that until this very moment. So I really didn't understand that at all until this very moment. But yeah, I'm gonna land my plane on that, because and I'm not about that life of going adventurous. On the most adventurous I'll probably be is probably go on a plane. Bungee jumping is out. Uh, free falling is probably still around, because there is space actually in Soweto. I was supposed to go for my birthday this year, but because I'm very much pregnant, I can't go. So I'll probably go next year.
You,
Because in Soweto they have an awesome spot where you can free fall, and it's not that high, so that I can still do.
Miss Kim, you with
Yep. I can't hear you, Dallas.
Can y'all hear me?
You eating on chips, but go ahead.
Nah, can y'all hear me now or nah?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah.
It just happened to cut out at that moment. Go ahead.
I said you pregnant?
Yes, I am.
Another is coming into this world. Yes.
Another one.
And a last one is coming in. Don't say another one. A last one is coming into this world. From my side of the town, a last one is coming into this world.
Hey.
Grand.
She's accepting very hard. So go ahead.
The acceptance is real. But look,
Yeah, she's motivating herself to be. That's the last adventure to happen. Okay.
hey, look, check this out. So when it comes to what motivates me to be adventurous,
Yeah.
or did you want to share first, Chris? I know you said
You have your wheels turning. You go. You go, boy.
And his mouth moving while his check is opening.
With them chips.
it's not it. So I got my own little mix here. It's
Oh.
popcorn
Mm.
with trail mix. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yep.
This is not a mukbang. Continue.
But hey, that's real healthy for y'all if y'all on the go, or if you just need something to snack on throughout the day.
It's Dallas
The
mix.
Dallas mix. I love it.
You feel me? Hey,
Just let me know where I can find it, Dallas. It's tempting. It's tempting.
I got it. I'm gonna ship it to you. Free shipping and handling. I got you.
Dallas is
Oh, I
mostly
love free
made
shipping.
in Dallas, Texas.
I'm telling y'all. But look, no, for real. So what motivates what I think what helps people be adventurous in general is something that Miss Kim said. It's the mental. As you grow, when you grow, you start to latch on to these different understandings, and that mental growth is very essential. But also, anybody that knows me, they know I'm about action. We take action. Action with mental, you reach a whole new level. And I don't think that's something I've shared with people before.
Yeah.
Action with mental, you reach another level. It's like a whole new game. Life is about levels. I'm not gonna get on here and tell y'all the same shit that everybody else tell y'all. Life is about levels.
Yeah.
Your mental maturity will determine the things that take place in your life. I
Mm.
can wholeheartedly say that, because when you mix acceptance with your adventurous nature, like me myself, people tell me I'm adventurous, I'm spontaneous. You know, if you really know me in real life, like CJ will tell y'all, like I really just be sitting there chilling. I'm talking because I'm here. I'm with y'all, but I really just be like, I got my moments, but yeah,
Get comfortable, fall asleep on people's beds, wake up
man,
30 minutes later. Yeah.
that's behind the scenes. Hey,
But I resonate with that, so I feel you.
right, but right
I
though, that's
I just finished my grand adventure, and I wouldn't even say I'm burnt out, but I am definitely in a state of resting. So I find myself more of that speed that you are describing right now, Dallas. Like it's just like chilling, just sitting, just being. Yeah, because I think, I think driving across country 2 times in like the span of a year, I think that warrants rest.
Rest, much needed rest, some
I think
R&R.
it warrants us because I am in a state of where like I'm trying to find my personal motivation right now because I'm saying that I'll say that I'm saying that I'm ready for my next adventure, right? Because I'm like, we gotta go while we got the momentum. We gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. What are we gonna do next? When in reality, what is next is rest.
Yeah.
Take action. Let me
Yep.
let me tell you, hey,
Can we? That is something that all you see. That's also something that people don't always talk about. It's because people think once you get to a certain age, yes, people always say life starts at 30, but they don't talk about also how the body. Let's just go there. How the body starts
Yeah.
reacting to certain
Oh
things because
yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, you can push yourself to this extent, but you gotta rest. You
Mm-hmm.
you you can't be doing so much like how you used to do in your early 20s. Now you gotta calm down,
Before you get a
That's
chill.
pull,
true.
before you get a pulled hamstring and everything else. So please.
Yes, or a rolled ankle.
yo,
Goodness. Yeah, this aging
yo,
process, it's different. I'm with you, Kim. We're right around the corner.
first,
We're
I
in
don't
this
fall
together.
first, I don't fall asleep on everybody bed. Let's get that cleared up.
Bruh,
Oh,
you
That's
look at that was already like pushed into the past. Well, you need to accept the fact that's done. So, all right,
no,
continue.
he didn't.
I'm gonna
And he's
keep
just gonna
doing this.
he's
Yes,
looking for every excuse to use acceptance.
yes, I am a
I
yo,
hundred percent.
accept
and
the
and as
fact
far as
that
as
rest
far
is
as chicken, I just saw some of your messages, man. I've never been rock climbing. That is something I'm interested in. It's a lot of adventures I ain't did yet, so stay tuned for that. Kids, bro, I don't have kids. I it's some people that want to have some, but we ain't gonna get into all that. And yeah, so back to what I was saying. But yeah, what about being adventurous? It's that growth mindset. You gotta have action though. Like you really gotta take action. Like you can't overthink shit.
Hmm.
Simplicity, not overthinking.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Simplicity, not overthinking. I'm excuse me, I wholeheartedly mean that. There's a point where you can plan, right? You can plan, you can map it out, and then you gotta take action. Don't get caught up in the win, 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 win.
mm,
Now, if you find yourself saying win, 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 it's now.
mm.
9 times out of 10 is now, or just yeah. Actually, I'm gonna tell you, 9 times out of 10 is now.
But I need to rest, Dallas. It's not now.
Let me let me tell you something. I like to say we rest when we dead. I rest when I'm
Oh
dead.
That's
no.
because you're not 30 yet.
You right.
See now it's 7:33 out here. By 12 o'clock I gotta rest. By 1 I gotta rest.
Tell him, Kim. Tell him.
All right. Let me tell you this too though. When you work out, right? Working out is so essential to your body. Working out, meditating, getting up with the sun, right? I don't know how many people wake up with the sun, but if you wake up with the sun, get a nice little workout in the morning, cold towel on your face, that gets you ready to take on these adventures in life. Like, I don't know about y'all, but me, when I work out, when I go run, when I go do whatever I do, and then I go do something, it's like I got so much energy behind that. I'm like, bro, I'm not even tired. You could take me here. I might take a 5-10 minute nap. Shout out to my man CJ. Shout out to my homegirl. Sometimes I'm at the video shoot. They might catch me, I'm taking a lunch break. But they said I was asleep, all right? But
Rest, exactly. Rest. That's
Rest is
correct.
important.
it was on.
That's correct.
It was only for a couple minutes. It was only for a
Only
couple.
for a couple minutes.
All
Oof.
right.
That
They
was
had
well
me.
needed. It
Hunger
was well
Games.
needed.
Man, they had me lifting stuff, man. I'm a bodyguard. I ain't coming to but
Here we go. I'm gonna do it. You need to accept the fact you rested. Okay, you rested.
Full circles. I love it.
full circle. No,
Full
but real though,
circle.
I'm gonna speak on me so then we can go ahead. But what motivates me to be adventurous, honestly, is helping people. If I'm keeping it real,
Mm.
it's helping people. Shout out to my driver again tonight. That was something he said, and that's what makes this topic so important. CJ would tell you, like, I'm not on social media. My notifications are not on. Like, I might post, you guys will see me post things about my business and stuff like that. But like, yo, when I get on these What's the Word Wednesdays, it's really at random. And for this to be the topic with the things going on today, the meetings that I've had today, the impactful conversations, the people, like, you know, I'll share this with you guys, because we in this space right now. The vibe is right. I gifted over $1,200 to some people tonight,
Mm.
and that right there, that made me feel good. Like they're just like, it's like, damn, I ain't even say nothing. I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. Like, these is people that we've been having these meetings for the past couple months, and today we locked in. I just and everybody showed up. Everybody, but it's like, yo, seeing people and hearing the stories behind that, like, yo, thank you, you helped my family, or thank you, you did this, or you must be rich. I don't really care about that one. But yo, seeing those people, seeing them go home and smile and being able to support themselves, that's what keeps me adventurous. Like, knowing that it's somebody out there right now that, like, yo, who need my help? Who can I help? Everybody always walking around with this empathy, want somebody to feel sorry for them type of attitude. Bro, let me tell y'all, I'm gonna keep it trill like I always, like y'all know me to be. But don't nobody like that shit.
Mm.
Suck it up, move forward. It's not to say we all don't feel nothing. I feel things, I go through things. But I stop myself. I learn how to stop myself. I learn how to, come on, bro. Get
Yeah.
it together.
Yeah.
We're human. We're not perfect, right? But
Yeah.
we can work as far as to perfect, as close as perfect as, excuse me, as we can. But seeing those people smile, seeing anybody, like, thrive, yo, that's the stuff that brings joy to my heart.
Mm.
Like, real talk. So, like, if you ain't getting up, if you ain't helping somebody every single day, if you're not, yo, what am I doing? How can I help somebody else smile today? Let me tell y'all, I was doing that for so long, and I'm still doing it, right? But yo, I was doing that for so long, and that's my life though, right? It was so crazy. I remember back when I had a roommate in one of my other places. He came home one day, and I remember I had a long day at work. I was working security. I'm sitting on the couch, AC blowing. It was hot. I tell you, it was hot. He came in, looked at me, and said, "I don't know how you do it." And I was confused. So I didn't know what this man was talking about. I said, "Huh?" He said, "Bro, you get up and smile every single day and help
Mm.
other people smile. You go through all of this." And that wasn't even something that I noticed. That was something he had to tell me. He had to point out. And it did, and then it set in on me, and I was like, damn, I guess. And I went right back into doing the same thing. It's, I'm like, yo, this is the only way to do it. It's like, that's the only way you can really see real improvements and adventures in your life, when
Mm.
you other people going through and not even knowing how your smile, how your words might help somebody feel that day.
Yeah.
Wanted to fight me one time. and we was playing basketball, and I looked at the brother. I said, don't put your hands on me if you can't hug me, cause I went in for a hug, cause I'm like, bro, you really don't want the problem that you think you want,
Yeah.
and I don't even want to take it there, but cause me understanding, like, bro, you going through something. I don't even know you. I don't know your name. You can't be mad at me. When he got mad, I said, don't put your hands on me if you can't hug me. Why did I say that? Because it's like, bro, you going through something. When I wake up in the bed, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not thinking like, yo, how can I hurt this person today?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how can I help this person? And whether that
Yep.
be, like Miss Tyra said earlier, some people we gotta cut them off, or like chop them loose because they're not appreciating your services. But for them other people that are, hey, how can I help? That's where all of my focus, 90 to 95% of my focus, I'm gonna say 90, let's go 90. 90% of my focus goes to how can I help somebody each and every day. That 10%, that's for me. And whatever, but that 90%, that's for y'all.
No, you're supposed to have 100 for us, man. I'm just playing.
They say don't judge somebody.
You gotta accept the 90. I did it. Yeah.
They say don't judge somebody when they have nothing. Judge them when they have everything and what they do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
given power to people. I got you, big dog. I given power to people, right? Like there's people that I see now doing good, and I'm like, shout out to you, because I want you to do good. But if they didn't take the lessons, hey, I know I know it's only short term. If you disregard the lessons that it take to get there, the success is short term.
Mm.
That's like working for a week. Like, yeah, I'm the best, I'm the fittest in the world. But you only worked out for a week. That's short term. Let me know when you're working out 8 hours a day, 3 workout sessions a day, 7 days a week, 365. And you still got to deal with your significant others and your team. Let me know when you're doing that. It's a mindset thing. So wake up, think about how you can help people. 90%, get that 90% to the people. Because when you have it all, I'm not saying give it all away. You'll never hear me say that. Don't be stupid now.
Yeah.
But give what you can to people. Give what you understand what you can give. Know yourself, right? And then understand what people need.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave y'all with that one though. Like, yo, 90% for people, 10% for yourself. If you don't remember nothing else.
There it is. Yeah. Don't be too adventurous, y'all. Yeah. No 8-hour workouts if you can't handle it. Don't do it. Yeah. Yeah. There's so much
but
craziness in the comments, but that's the love. Go ahead, Chris.
I don't even be looking
There's
at the
I
comments.
just wanted to say there's a list accumulating of people wanting hugs from Dallas. I would like to be put on that list.
Are you on that list too? I got y'all. Always. We give hugs to everybody. You feel me? No,
But
and go ahead.
no, finish Dallas. You're on a roll. You're on a roll.
Hugs are good. Hugs are also good for your body, like for the human interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Human interaction. Hugs are actually therapeutic to your soul.
You need 8 hugs a day.
Minimum.
I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say 8 hugs, but you maybe
Psychology today.
it might be one long hug.
Where's the science on that? Did somebody start doing
Psychology
a whole
today.
hugging experiment? That's what we call it, a hugging experiment?
They said for your mental health, you need about 8 hugs a day minimum.
You see, this is I love you guys, but this is why I sometimes say outside of Africa, sometimes the science is doing
Don't
way
make
too much. I didn't say your part of the world. I said outside of Africa. He's doing way too much. When I
Okay,
listen to some of the
it's about eleven
conversations,
thirty. I need my third hug of the day. Like let's
Oh
get it
wow, that's
going.
late.
Like come on.
That's too late.
Yeah.
11:30. Catch up.
it's good habits though to teach, because I'm laughing because my daughter came in, my
She wanted to
oldest
give you a
daughter.
kiss, didn't she?
Exactly. That's what she just came in to come and give me a kiss, and she was gone. That's it.
And
So even teaching them that, because we did that, we never had a lot of that. I never had a lot of that with my mom, the hugging, the loving on and stuff like that. So for my kids, I was like, even out of the blue, I'll call them, I don't know, I'm like, come here, I want to tell you something. And they're like, what? And I'm like, a random hug. It's not because I had to do number 5 hug for the day. I wasn't going through the checklist. But what is it? It's Trolls. Trolls is the one where it's hugs. They have the
Oh, the
they
movie.
have
Yes.
the clock.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's a cute series. Yeah.
That is where it
That
comes
one.
from, because it's like
fire,
hugs. I'm
y'all
like,
is on fire tonight. Let me just tell y'all that. I'm looking at these comments. I'm listening to Chris. Kim. Y'all is on fire tonight.
And build it into your practices. Why is it like an infomercial going down in the comments, and then we have
You're the chicken
this
and
at
beef.
the top?
I
Oh my
call, I call
goodness.
Always gonna promote.
boy, these comments is cracking. They're jumping.
Oh my goodness. But
I'm just happy he started typing forward again, because that backwards typing was throwing me for a loop.
Oh yeah, Tyra, 8 hours. Hey, holla at your boy. You already know we can get it in.
oh
Yo,
my
I'm
goodness.
telling y'all, health, wealth, lifestyle. I'm telling y'all, and the hub, like yo, shout out to my I think it was
You
my
good?
grandma.
Mm.
It was my grandma, and she said, was it my grandma?
You
Might
better know who it was.
It might have been my pops. It was one of the two. Okay, it was somebody in the family. It was the elder. Okay,
Okay.
and they said this. I would, whenever me and my siblings would get mad at each other, they would say, "Y'all hug each other,"
Mm-hmm.
and y'all don't stop hugging. It's my pops. It
I
sound
knew
like.
it. I had a feeling. Oh man, that
Hey,
sound
I'm
like
like
that's
this.
it,
This
brother.
hey, you
Yeah.
know, I'm like this is pops. This is pops. You already know. But yo, I'm like yo. He would always say like yo, y'all hug each other and don't stop until you ain't mad no more. Like we could not stop hugging each other. Like we had to imagine having a look at the person. You just y'all just got in the most like you ready to just go to war with this person, and now you got to sit there and stand there and hug this person. It's like, bro, at some point you gotta let it go. And I
Yeah.
think the people that hold on to it, there's people that'll do it and they'll hold on to it in here. If you don't let it go out of here, it's only turmoil. It's building. It's building. It's
Mm,
building, and that's bad. You gotta release. That's something that we say in my family. Like you gotta have that release.
mm,
Release that stuff. Like you don't hold all that pain in. Don't hold all that anxiety in, that depression, whatever that is. Release it. I went through depression. I guess you could say people call it depression. I don't like to call it depression, but I like to say I went through a challenging time a couple years back, but I had to let it go. I had
Mm-hmm.
to take time and really let it go so I could
Mm.
come be the chairman that y'all need, right? Like, yo, people need me. They need to see me smile. Like and shout out to y'all because it's times when the road get dark sometimes. It's like, it's moments like these where I'm like, damn, bro, you got to keep going. Like shout out to everybody showing love. Like man, if I could cry, I would cry. Cause man, it's so emotional. I want y'all to know that. Like it's so much love. Cause y'all don't. Some people don't ever understand certain things, right, about this life.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing about it is, in them dark times, I'm gonna let y'all know. It's thinking about y'all, thinking about the 8 hours, the people who ain't getting up working out for 8 hours, the people who getting them hugs and kisses and writing them books. You feel me? Like I'm just saying, Chris traveling the world nonstop, back coast to coast. it's like it's them things that let me know, like, bro, keep going. And that's my message to y'all too. Like, keep going. God got a purpose for you. Stop making excuses to yourself. Whatever you set out your mind, whatever you setting out to do, that ain't been on the back of your mind or the front of your mind, let that fear go. One thing that helped me excel in life is like I think about my younger self and how fearless I was.
Mm.
Like I'm still young. I'm like shit.
Once you hit 30.
I'm like, bro. I'm like, you gotta be fearless. Like you gotta keep telling yourself. You gotta keep telling yourself that you're fearless. You gotta
Yeah.
keep going through the emotions. Like, yo, I'm fearless. Shit, I might die. Real talk. I done been in real life situations where I'm like, this might not go well, but I know I'm gonna end up on top somehow, cause God on my side. Like when you got God behind you, I don't care what nobody talking about, bro. You gonna excel. And I know a lot of people out here preaching God, but they ain't living this. Like real talk.
Mm-hmm.
Guys and girls, I know them both. But I'm talking about when you really in that position to really impact a lot of people, you gonna do certain things a certain way. And the one thing about it is you can't make an excuse. So don't stop making excuses to yourself. If y'all don't shut your young ass. Hey, we rock with you this time. Hey,
I didn't say it to her earlier, but you do not look 44 at all. That's all I'm going to tell you. You don't at all.
no,
Exactly.
no,
Exactly.
But we
So
just playing. We just playing. Well, those two, I don't know, but I know I'm just playing right now. I
wait,
know.
those
I
two?
know.
Who two?
Chris and Kim, because y'all was saying like, yeah, y'all
It's
was agreeing early, so that's
it's
why.
the
But
X.
I am not
We have a
playing with
birthday
these
coming
aches
up.
and pains.
We have
Yeah,
birthdays
like
coming up. It's
I'm
different. Like we're feeling it.
like 31 is here now. On the
It's
28th, the 28th is literally around the corner for me. So I'm like, I'm not ready. That's why I say this is the last child I will ever have, because I don't understand how women over the age of 30 can have, or even over the age of 35 are having kids, because this is tough, boy. This is no
and
joke.
don't say that, Kim. That's a adventure down the road I want. But yeah, I'll be like
For
35.
me,
Like
this honestly, it's no joke because my body is tired. I gotta have that nap every day at a certain time.
oh my goodness.
Mm.
I- the only exercise, like I get jealous, like exercise is good. The exercise that I do is going out and getting busy in the garden,
Mm.
which is exercise because I know I feel those aches and pains afterwards. And that is the best exercise for me because I realized even as I get older, that is something that really is calming and
Mm,
it's very soothing. You
mhm.
know, even being able to give back into the soil and and replenish the soil and continue to watch things grow. It's the level of adventurous as we get older. It's different because now it's a level of teaching and learning where our kids come and I love when my girls will be like, okay, can I water the garden with you? Okay, cool. And then they'll ask, what's this growing? I'm like, no, that's strawberries, or this is cucumber. This year we're gonna try growing some herbs and we're gonna focus on this. And those things are very, very therapeutic, and that's the most exercise I've been doing. I'll be very honest. I'm very honest with you because this, even though we're getting to the age of, yes, we do feel very young in a lot of aspects because
Mm,
I feel like we're starting to see life in a different light
Yeah.
mm.
compared to when we were younger. And also, when some of our elders get to try and still talk to us like we're small kids, it's like, no, let's not go there because I am way past it. Like, I'm enjoying that part where I can do that. Like, my mom was trying to do something or say something. I was like, I'm too old for that. And I was like, oh, yeah, now I can use that. Or I'm too grown for that. Like, you're not going to talk to me like that, So it made us get to a point where there's certain family members now that know, like, okay, now she's grown and she's mature, so I don't need to give her that lesson of a finance or this or that. She's doing what she's doing. She continue doing what you do. So that's what I'm enjoying about this phase. but not the tiredness, not the
Got you.
needing to rest part. I'm not enjoying that part. I'm not there yet.
I know
I'm not
somebody.
accepting it.
I'm accepting it
I
over
know
here.
somebody that's walking. I know
Yeah.
somebody that's walking in a state of peace. All right, but
Yeah.
yo, I know CJ know what I'm talking about. But yo, shout out to you, Kim. Like that is a workout. Like I'm
Mm.
gonna tell you, like gardening. I don't have to tell you, but you feel it, right? Gardening is very therapeutic. That's actually something I want to agriculture. I want to get into that. That's very that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother thing. But that's something that is yeah. But you're gonna feel it though, like and it's good. Like if you keep doing that, you're gonna find ways to get your body is y'all, let me tell y'all, if y'all don't take nothing else from everything that I done said already, cause y'all should be taking notes. All right. But yo,
But you done broke your pen, but understood.
that don't work. But yo, your body is so amazing. Real
Yeah.
talk, your body is
Yeah.
so amazing that once
Yeah.
once you continue to do that, your body will find ways to strengthen it, to adjust itself to what you're doing.
Hmm.
Like your body adjusts to what you need. For example, when I play football, like actually in my football shape, my body is more bulky, kind of. I got a all around frame that I like to be in, but compared to when I'm playing basketball, my frame is more slim. Like my shoulders are still wide, but my frame is still it's a little bit slimmer. But your body adjusts to what you need, like most definitely. Don't break the phone.
But you know what? I agree with you, especially when you said waking up early, because when you wake up earlier, and this is something I realized even before being full-time stay-at-home like mom and wife, was even before this, waking up earlier, I realized that I was getting a lot, I was more peaceful in my day when I got up earlier. When I got up before my whole family, my day was more at peace because I was like mentally prepared and I was calm. I was chilled. I was relaxed. Like, yes, it wouldn't mean that the day is not going to come with challenges, but I was like more mentally prepared to deal with them because I was like, I've been up since 4 a.m. I'm ready. I'm bright up and ready for whatever's going to come my way. And you become more productive,
Yeah.
Man,
I think, in a sense, when you
Yes.
yes,
wake up earlier in the morning.
yes, man.
Yeah, and yes, drinking a lot of water. That also is that's why I my skin looks kind of okay now
Looks
because I'm
amazing.
also drinking a lot of water.
Hey,
Did the scientists and then in Africa not go too crazy like us over here with all of this? Don't
Wait
break
now.
your phone.
You know what? The scientists out here, science and life within this part of where I stay, everything is very simple and very practical. Yes, we understand there's always the deeper diving into a lot of things, into the waking up early and the how can you prepare yourself mentally. It's not just the science of it, but also, as like Dallas mentioned, the same with biblical law and faith is something that you got to practice. You can't just say, like me, for example, because I am not a religious person, but I follow a lot of what's in the Bible. But in order for me to do that, and I don't want to jump and say Christian because people are misrepresenting the words that are in the Bible. So I don't want to even go into that. But the same when it comes to certain things that science tells us. They had to go and study it. They had to take some people and make them guinea pigs and for them to understand.
Yeah.
Let's make this person sleep until 9 o'clock. Let's make that person sleep until 4 o'clock. This one wakes up 4 o'clock for a week or for a month. That one must wake up at 9 at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and let's see what the two's lives or what their days are gonna look like. 9 times out of 10, it's the one that's gonna wake up at 4 a.m. that's gonna do more.
Hmm.
They are gonna they're gonna start doing more things and being more productive than the person that's waking up at 9 or 10, depending also on that person's level of motivation and also the type of work that they do, because
Yeah.
some people work night shifts and day shifts. So that's also something to take into consideration. But if it's someone like me that's just an ordinary person, or someone like us that work in education,
Yeah.
waking up at 4 a.m. is something that's doable for us.
Yeah.
I felt for me, I had to wake up at about 4 5 because I had to get up, get my kids ready, kids stuff ready, my husband's lunch ready, myself, all that stuff I had to do before we even got out of the house.
Yeah.
So I needed to make sure I was never that person that like, I don't want to be that mom like, oh no, we late. Come on, we gotta do this and no, I can't do that.
Hell no.
I like system. I didn't grow up in a military household. I didn't grow up with a father around, but I always liked system and order. Even it annoys my husband because I'm also very strict when it comes to those things, but I love order. I love things to go in order because I don't like confusion. So when it's waking up, I gotta wake up early and I'm up. It's very rare that he wakes up earlier. But I wake up early, got myself ready, get myself together, make his lunch, chill. Now the kids on holiday. I'm like, oh, there's less people to stress about. Go out into the garden, listen to nature before traffic starts. So when the day starts itself, I'm like more calm. I'm gonna handle whatever anybody says a bit more chilled. Be like, oh, you saying what? Oh, okay, cool. That's your problem. That doesn't sound like a me problem. You understand what I mean? You start thinking about things like, okay, does that really affect my life? Is that really a me problem? It doesn't affect my budget. It doesn't affect my kids. It doesn't affect my relationships. So how you and the same thing with Della said, you give people advice, but you can't force them to take it.
Yes.
So you handle when you're waking up at that certain time, you waking up like with already that mindset of like, oh, I'm ready to achieve things today.
Let me add to that too.
I'm ready to get some things done.
Facts. Let me add to that too, Kim. On top of that, when you do give somebody advice, because a lot of people misinterpret when we say that, right? You can
Yep.
give people advice, and yeah, you can't force nobody. Like even a brother of mine told me, like, hey, you can't remember, you can't force nobody. I'm like, you right. You gonna have to get. My papa always said, get. I would lean on him all the time, and he was like, get. That mean get away from me. For those who don't understand. That's what that mean. That mean get away. Because guess what? If you don't want to hear this advice, and I know it's gonna take you further, I don't really got too many words for you. I got shit that I'm doing too. I got stuff to take care of. You got things to take care of. You out here building a whole garden, releasing novels. You feel me? And Chris out here coast to coast. CJ out here.
I have
He
no clue what I'm doing at this point. I'm just being
he doing
adventurous.
he doing amazing things. CJ, my man out here, he hosting a show every Wednesday, dropping freestyles, helping the community. You feel me?
Mhm.
Yo,
That's
He just downplays his role like that. We're not gonna
right.
let you do that, Ed.
Right.
No, it's not. Shouts out to my brother Clockwise. What's the word? Wednesday shirts for my
Like,
alumni.
shout out to him. And yo, no, real talk. And that's a lot of times when people they get that confused in that, you can't force nobody. Yeah, you can't force me to do it. No, that's a child mindset. I'm here to tell you that's a child mindset. Oh, you can't force me. Okay, you right. Get the fuck up out my face. Like you're not really dealing, and it took me a long time to understand that too. And I'm still young. She was walking around in the video. We're gonna let you know, but you gonna replay this and you gonna see her in this video.
Look. No, but look, I'm gonna tell you this, Dallas, and then we're gonna get into wrapping up and
No, no,
stuff.
no.
But
Let me
hold on,
finish what I was
hold on.
saying.
No. I'm gonna let you finish. But I'm talking about last week. Last week it was even doper because almost everybody on their screen had kids. So that's why you missed last week. So
I
that's
probably
why it
gotta go
was
watch
interesting.
that.
It was dope to see that. But go ahead, brother.
No, facts. And and that's a child mindset. Like whenever you look into somebody and somebody's like, yo, I don't know, you can't force me to do this, or and you're having so much rebellious about it. I want y'all to think of this. Think of it like this. How many times did you see your younger self as a kid and you were rebellious to things that you might engage in?
Hmm.
For example, I didn't eat vegetables like peas growing up. as I got older, that changed. I'm like, this pretty good for the body. Okay, it tastes good. We can rock with it. But I didn't eat that growing up. You could not get me to eat peas growing up. I'm like, oh hell no. Like it just my brain, body, and tongue wasn't computing. Same thing with the advice. Same thing with your growth in life. You, hey man, I don't. You can't force me, bro. If I told that to every coach, like I'm here to tell y'all, you guys like, yo, if I told that to every coach, every single coach that took their time to train me in the way that I need to be trained, like, oh, you can't force me to move like that, to take that step that way, to move my shoulder that way. Do you think I would have got the results out of that training?
Mm-hmm.
You think I would have been better or worse? I would have been worse. So anybody in your life that's telling y'all that shit, oh, you can't force me to do this, you can't force me to do that. That's a child mindset, and it took me to really start growing and meeting different people, understanding. You know, I got some people from overseas. Shout out to South Africa and all that, but you know, my people over there. You know, I told my brother, I told him about a situation that happened this year. And he said, and the crazy thing is, we talking about the situation. Like I ain't throw too many details, but me just explaining the situation, he brought up a point that I didn't even bring up. I didn't bring it up, and I didn't even tell it to the person in the situation when it happened. And this man, right, family, wife, kids, he was able to identify, look at me, and say, "Boom, boom, boom. This was the problem." I'm not gonna say it, but yeah. And when he told me, I said, he said, bro, that's not, he said, that's not a man. He said, that person needs to grow. And sometimes it's hard for us to hear that, especially when we got attachments with those things. So somebody said, thanks for being blunt. It's tired. Thanks for being blunt, straight to the point. And some people tell me, like, some people on my team, they tell me, like, yo, D, we appreciate being that way because that's what people need. And that's another reason why I really won't stop being me. Like real talk, like you cannot stop shining bright in this world. Like you got that light, you got that power to do something, I do it. God got the rest. So don't stress about none of that bad stuff. Oh, this might happen to you. Oh, you know, this happened to so and so when they did this. I'm not so and so. That's good to know that I'm not so and so.
Bars.
You feel me? So don't be scared to shine your light, shine y'all wisdom, your knowledge, and make those moves. Cause knowledge without action, it's just a thought. It just it's just a thought. You got to put action behind all of these things that's being said. You feel me? So that's really that's the message behind everything. All the gems that Miss Tyra dropped, all the gems that Miss Crisss dropped, all the gems that Kim dropped, the little one walking in the back where she dropped, my man A.D.V.I.S. where he dropped, you know, and
And yourself.
Mm-hmm. Give
that
yourself flowers.
that's the message though. You want to put action behind these things. Stop
Yep.
wasting time, man. Y'all got on here. Y'all want to know what's the word? The word is stop wasting time. Stop wasting time.
I thought the word was acceptance.
Stop wasting. Yeah, we want orange juice and Capri Suns too.
All right. All right. With that being said, y'all, we're going ahead. We're gonna get into the wrap up. So I want everyone to wrap up. So whoever does go first, after you wrap up, I'm gonna have you go ahead and exit the live so I can have at least Tyra also wrap up for today. And then we gonna call it and we're gonna be the two more episodes down. So I appreciate y'all's time, appreciate y'all's love. But with that being said, y'all, let's go ahead and let's get into these wrap ups. So whoever wants to go first, I'll go for it before I start calling names, and then you have to
I'll
accept
go
it.
so that I can
Ah,
hop off.
Okay,
Um,
go for it, Chris.
I can jump in because, like Dallas said, waking up early. I want to try to do that because I
Oh,
got
it's
to be
good. It is
on the
fun.
405 by 6:30. So so let's do this. Yeah, so acceptance. We didn't even touch a lot of the other definitions for it. Didn't
No.
even come close, but it's okay. I'm just gonna wrap up on we spent a lot of time on the influence of like group and group acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a learning situation. So it is something that we do go through. Mostly, I think we encounter it at a younger age, more so that influence. It's bound to happen when you are in social settings, or even like we were talking about school and stuff. But like,
Yeah.
you know, kids will find a way, to make you doubt where you stand with them. And I think it is a good lesson overall, because it does prepare you for the real world once you are out there. So that way you can tell, I think it was Kim you touched on, you can tell when someone's lacking something, or their fear of rejection is like
Yeah.
usually through trying to get approval, acceptance from other people. So I'm just wrapping up what I took from that. And then I know I mentioned a little bit about self acceptance. That's kind of where my mind currently in this state um, of being kind of in that I've outgrown the social acceptance part, and now I'm in the self acceptance, the fully becoming aware and understanding who I am,
Yes.
and not looking at it from a sense of comparison of acceptance, other people's acceptance of me, but the acceptance of myself.
Yeah.
And then just going to run through the question: what motivates us to be adventurous? I think for me, in the past 5 years, it was just the idea of adventure. And then as far as tonight, I'd have to say Dallas is my motivation. I'm t- I'm like, after like 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm done resting after listening to Dallas talk. I'm like, my rest is over. Okay. He's
And
like,
you're
oh,
on and you're on
right,
his hug
up there,
list.
up there.
Uh,
But no, yeah, for me, mostly it is like just the idea of adventure, whatever that may be. And I know, Kim, you touched on what adventure looks like as we get older, and I definitely resonate with that. Like the things I'm into now, I never thought I was into years before. You know, slower paced activities are still like adventurous. So that's my wrap up of tonight. I'm gonna head out. You guys have a good night.
before you head out,
Yes.
slower pace activities is so. I think that's so vital that you said that.
Hmm.
Reason why I say is because a lot of the times people talk slow, right?
Hmm.
Or like, "D, why you take so long to respond?" I asked you that 2 minutes ago. I'm like, why are you rushing? There's not real talk.
Hmm.
People think, like, even playing sports, people think that, stay with me. People think that some of the most elite athletes are moving at such incredible paces, which we are to a degree, but there's a small percentage of people who could actually be moving that fast and be that efficient.
Hmm.
Most professional athletes actually move slow. They move fast compared to normal people, but compared to their competition, that's why we see different types of athletes. But moving slow, right? Like taking your time, slow activities. Even when I drive, right? Let's say I pick a shorty up on the first date, right? I'm not gonna give all the sauce away, but let's just say we coasting. We coasting. I don't have a destination. I might not even have a destination in mind. I might have not even came up to where we going yet, but we'll figure it out. So many people are in a rush, right? That rush mindset, like it's good to have some urgency, but take your time being urgent.
Sorry, chicken and beef, bro.
No, and that's real important that you said that, like slower activities, because there's also a saying floating around.
Hmm.
Ever sit down with somebody that's high net worth, right? Like super high net worth, you will find it that they really take their time, because that's all you got in life. You got time.
Hmm.
That's why I don't believe people when they say they busy. I'm like, busy doing what? Question them. Ask them why. People hate that question. Ask them why. Why you? I got to go here for what? I don't know.
Hmm.
So you ain't even busy. If I tell you I'm busy, I'm gonna tell you, hey, but I got meetings. I got this. I might not tell you everything, but I know what I got to do. But taking your time is so important. So I think that's dope that you at this point. Some people don't reach that level to understand, like,
Hmm.
your time. Just it. That's good though. Shout out to you.
Thanks, Dallas. I could listen to you talk forever.
But at this point, you gotta go handle your business before you
I
get busy taking naps.
Yes, and I have to accept the fact it's past my bedtime. There
There it is.
we go. If you want one more. Alrighty. Good night, guys.
That
All
needs a
right.
whole
Love you.
chapter. Let's not even
Peace.
go there. But
See you
All
guys next
love.
Wednesday.
All right. My goodness, hilarious, man. But that's how we do it. All right. I'm gonna bring you back up in here if you're still here with us, um, Tyra, so you can wrap up with us.
Miss Kim, what the little one was requesting?
the one came to give me some grapes, and the other one it needed me to tie up her hair. But they both clowning around like here behind me, and I'm
Oh
like,
my goodness.
First of all, where is our grapes? We want to be healthy too. We want to garden too. Come
You gonna get some grapes of wrath. That's what you getting. Um, but yes. All right. Speaking of, since we have you talking, I'm gonna have Tyra go after you, but Dallas, wrap up.
Hey, let me just say, I appreciate y'all for even listening to my crazy stuff. I know at times this world gonna say people like me is crazy. They gonna say, we, we not, we not always uplifted, by
Mm,
certain people, and that's cool. But let me tell y'all, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Like this is really why I get up every day and wrapping up. This right here. I couldn't think of a better way to cap off the things that I'm not even speaking on. The
hmm
things that's like I'm gonna sleep good tonight, and Lord knows, like I'm gonna really sleep good tonight. Just but beyond the things that I've even shared with y'all, and listening to the things that you guys shared with me as well, right? I'm gonna sleep real good tonight. And man, I'm speechless. And it ain't too many times, it ain't too many times like that for me. Like genuine speechless. So yeah, y'all did y'all thing. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support. You know, the one thing, it ain't even about me. I like to say I want y'all to keep growing, whatever y'all, cause my mindset is crucial. I'm already knowing. Like there's people that walked in my life, and when you walked out my life, your life ain't get better. I promise you. It might get better, maybe, if you apply some of the things that you learned while you was around. but because I want to see everybody win, I just understand. There's a quote: "Under the wing of a great leader, cowardice cannot survive." That was
Mm.
something they said. And when you when you understand, when you have a great leader in your presence, if you are that great leaders know how to listen too. But at times, you also, just like the parent, you got to know when to put that thump down, that hammer. Let them know, hey, this will need to be done so we can get here. And that's not wrong. A lot of people will tell y'all that that's wrong. Why you? It's the stuff that go on behind closed doors. Like my man A.D.V.I.S, he told me I would sleep, but what he ain't tell you is I brought somebody over there to work with him. They worked on a project together. On it, I did my part. I'm tired. I need a nap because I already know when I open these eyes back up, it's time for me to get back to it. I got work to do. Whenever these eyes is open, I got work to do. And that's the stuff they're not gonna tell you behind closed doors. Like yo, it's hard conversations behind closed doors. That's a
Yeah.
part of being a leader. That's a part of being a follower. And it's nothing wrong with that. Like people gotta stop being that. I'm not telling you to take all the shit in the world from everybody. Like use your brain. But
Yeah.
you know, that's the biggest thing. I want to see y'all improve. I know I'm good. Like real tough. Like I'm telling y'all, if I could cry right now, I would cry for y'all, man. Cause y'all got me up here really like,
Gratitude.
man.
Yeah.
I
Gratitude.
appreciate y'all first and foremost, and I'm gonna listen to y'all stories. I appreciate y'all. Time to listen to me, so I'm definitely gonna listen to y'all wrap this up. Cause I didn't want to just jump off and be the you know he bougie. He got I'm gonna listen to y'all. I'm gonna take the time. So I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. It's all good. If you need to go take a nap, we understand. It's all good. I had to get them in. But of course, appreciate you, brother. It's much love and we're always grateful when you here. Because again, it's a beautiful balance of we get into the topics, we get deep, we can get goofy, we might go off track, but again, it's much needed as well as thank you for your presence. And
Uh,
shout outs to those who like creeped up in here randomly now and they chilling back up in here. I gotta shout y'all in here. I see my boy MC0 back up in here as well as Aviator Fly Sound, peace and love. I see you up in here. We at the ends right now, so we wrapping up. But again, y'all gotta stay tuned with us because there's only 2 episodes left, and then guess what? I'm gonna be gone. And no disrespect, these conversations gonna continue on. But what's the word? It's gonna be cemented in history, and that's it. But um, Tyra, wrap up.
I'm so tired. What am I wrapping up again? My brain is like shutting off. It's past,
Any
it's
yeah,
past midnight
I
here.
I know it
It's
is,
really
and
late.
you are a trooper for that in many ways more than one. But anything when it came to the conversations, whether if it was acceptance, what motivates you to be adventurous, just your last point that you would like to share with everybody before you go and get your well deserved rest.
Well, in reference to acceptance, I think people deserve the kindness that they give, just to keep it simple.
Mm, mm,
If you're given a certain level of kindness and if you're not receiving that back in return, you need to go ahead and cut your losses and stick with your tribe.
mm.
You know how it is like your people will find you. And when you find those good people who are worth holding on to, you hold on to them.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I'll talk about adventure briefly.
yeah,
I think that's something that's needed in life because,
mm,
like I said, having parents that came from the hood that
yeah,
didn't really have anything growing up, and it's like when they did get the opportunity to acquire things, I think materialism kind of took over
mm,
everything. And with that being said, it's like once you move past the aspect of materialistic possessions and start living and experiencing life and traveling, you begin to realize that your memories are the only thing that you can take with you to the grave and not materialistic possessions.
mm. Easy, simple, Gems dropped all over. Pick them up off the floor.
So that's all I got.
We appreciate you. You can stay on if you want. If not, go get that well-deserved
Wait,
rest. I
wait, wait, wait,
appreciate you.
wait. Before you get off, hold on.
Uh-huh.
How you gonna turn your camera and say, wait?
What you got?
I like your background.
You like my little poster?
Yes, look.
Oh,
Let me back
y'all
up.
both with
See.
the Eiffel Tower? Oh, both of y'all. Oh my goodness.
No, I was trying to back up the phone so you can see the whole thing, but
Oh, it's big. Yeah, that's pretty dope.
yeah. Amazon had them on sale for $5 and some change. So I bought this one
Hey,
and
Not the
the other one.
sales. Not the sales.
hey, we
Yeah.
about to be
And
on.
I've got a black and white one downstairs of the New York City Bridge over the studio.
Okay,
That's the one that's busting. This one is just okay, but the one downstairs,
that's the
that
one.
one's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I don't want. Oh yeah, I want to show you this though, cause I'm
That's
digging,
what's up.
definitely digging it.
That's
Look,
another
we
combo.
need to live life and get our passports and go to Paris
Hey,
and go take
passport.
some real pictures there.
Hey, passport already stamped, so I'm waiting on you. What's up?
Yeah, you are waiting
Uh,
on me. I should have one by now, and I don't. So it's on my to-do list.
Talk to me. We gonna let's log in if we need to if we need help. Let's go.
y'all are about 10 years late. I was back there in 2013. Y'all got to catch up with me.
Hey,
Wow,
everybody wasn't studying abroad like you, okay?
how lucky for you.
Everybody
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, I was sleeping under. I was playing. I'm not playing. But one random thought about it. One random fact about it is you actually cannot take pictures of it at night because it is copyright. So you can get in trouble for sharing those pictures at night
What again?
Boo,
of
that's
the
no fun.
of the Eiffel Tower.
Taking a picture of it or taking a picture on it at night?
Taking a picture of it at night. At night, it actually lights up, like it does, like a light show. But that's just random. That's neither here or there. That's again, we at the end. Everybody need to go to sleep. But to
Oh,
wrap up, we'll get
I'm
there.
on here with some old folks tonight.
Oh man, it's what? It's 10:26
Yeah,
over
y'all talking
here.
about
But
curfew.
then
Y'all
look
talking
at but
about
no.
curfew.
But look
We
no.
got
Look.
energy. He's talking about
Do you not
curfew.
Tyra, you better tell him what time it is where you at so he can stop.
It is 12:27.
I got people on the east, in the central. I got people. Hey, y'all got curfew.
I'm gonna tell you this too. Guess what? Instagram has a curfew, and if we go past 4 hours, it's gonna abruptly stop. So that's what I'm trying to prevent too. Okay? I
I'm
appreciate the
Have
already.
you been
time.
here that
I
long?
appreciate
Already.
y'all love. I appreciate all of that. But I haven't tested it yet, Tyra. But last time that they had their update, you can go for 4 hours, and then they will cut you. And I tried it, and it was only 4 hours. So I'm trying to make sure that when we say stuff, it just don't abruptly be and then live ends. So before we
Okay.
go, if you want to leave, you're more than welcome to. If not, I can stay here. We're almost done wrapping up. But to wrap up, Kim, go for it, so you can get back to the little ones who are asking for your attention and time.
Yes. No, I think just to wrap up, know your weaknesses and understand them
Mm,
and understand how you can change those weaknesses into your strengths. Because being wanting to be accepted by everyone and anyone means there is a problem.
mm,
And in order to attack the problem, you gotta dig deep and find out why do you need everybody's acceptance? Why does it mean so much to you? And 9 times out of 10, when you start figuring that out, you'll start understanding who you are and start accepting who you are, your plan, your purpose, and the role that you play in this very big world. And that's about it, is learning to understand who you are and where you want to head to, when also finding that level of not self-acceptance. This is who I am. This
yes.
is what I am. Maybe I need to change some things. Okay, that's cool. If you don't want to change some things, that's also okay. It's okay. It's all up to you. Um, but change is good because change shows growth, not
Yes.
age. Change, change, and being able to not just change on the physical, but on the mental. Because I know Dallas mentioned a lot about gym and working out, but also a lot of that is also the mental part
Yes.
of it. And it starts on a mental level in order for you to do it on the physical level, because mentally, I know when before falling pregnant we were doing some boot camp training at the gym, and it was hectic, it was hard, but I loved that compared to some other females dropped out because they didn't like getting shouted at. But I enjoyed that. I liked someone shouting like, come on Kim, you can do that, just drop that tire. And I'm like, you don't know I'm about to drop this tire on your head. But some of us need that motivation. Some of us need that, come on, you can do this. And when you have those people around you, it's awesome. Appreciate those people. But when you have those people around you that are just agreeing with everything that you do, start questioning the people you surround yourself with,
Yes.
because they won't make you see that you're just a yes man, or you just that type of person that everyone must just accept you. Yes, I want the attention. It's all about me. Accept me, accept me. But you are not accepting yourself. And it goes way deeper to even with the people that we choose as our partners. We
Yes.
don't need yes men. We need people that talk up and say, no, there's an issue here, there's a problem here. So identify those things, identify the things that trigger you, even in random conversations like this. If something triggers you to a point where you feel some type of way about it, ask yourself, okay, why is this triggering me? So it's good to ask yourself the whys and find healing. I just hope you find healing and start being kind to yourself. And that's it.
There it is, y'all. Again, appreciate everybody that came on and shared, gave of their time, getting close to this curfew on Instagram, and all the laughter back and forth. So I want to appreciate Kim, appreciate Dallas, appreciate Tyra, appreciate Crisss, and everyone else that was down in the comments. I'm grateful for your time and your presence. Now, to wrap up, when it comes to current events and what's happening around you and in the world, it's important. Now, the brother Dallas said it earlier too, is that awareness piece. So please be aware of what's happening, what's going on. I ain't saying you got to read everything in the news, but if you know something is going on and happening around you, please properly prepare yourself, because proper preparation prevents poor performance. So you can prepare not only yourself but everyone else around you. So awareness is key. Second, when it comes to acceptance, there are so many roads and routes that you can take down acceptance, but one of the, I would say, main routes that you want to take when it comes to acceptance is self-acceptance. Because from the self, knowing thyself and healing thyself will lead that door open for all those other roads to be put out there. So then you can fully understand, understand, overstand, and understand why you are not only searching for acceptance, but you're looking for comfort, but as well as looking for connection and making sure that that stuff is secure and it's not broken easily. And if you know that it's not the time and place for that, you let it fly, you let it be. And then lastly, when it comes to what motivates us to be adventurous, again, that is a question for yourself to figure out and answer. It can be, again, being a servant, or, being that person of service to others to see them, again, grow and become better individuals. It may be, again, you're in that point in time where you want to explore and figure out the depths of how far you can go as a person and grow. For others, being adventurous, literally can be they're trying something new. And that something new may seem boring to others, but it can be exciting for them. Because learning every day is a new adventure, to be honest with y'all. You wake up every day, you don't know what's going to happen. I can go to work and think this is going to be my schedule, and then boom, I could be talking with a number of different people coming outside into the school I didn't even expect to. I end up having great conversations with students. I may have a difficult day with a student where I got to be upfront and real with them, but it's just that every day, if you're willing to be there, be aware, and be willing to learn and accept the fact that you're there for a purpose, you're gonna be learning, and it's gonna be an adventurous life for you, no matter your age. Age is nothing but a number. It's all in the mindset. But other than that, y'all, appreciate y'all. Everybody said wonderful things. I would love to echo everybody's sentiments, but appreciate everyone that came through. Much love. We got 2 more episodes left. And for my alumni, y'all got your shirts coming. Just know, just get in contact with me. We are going to be good to go. This has been a wonderful ride. We are so close to the end. And again, even though this is going to be the end of a fantastic era of things, this is not going to be the end all be all for these conversations to continue on beyond this. But with that being said, y'all, and all this flexing that's going on, we'll catch you next Wednesday for another What's the Word? And I'll be there. Hopefully you'll be there too, because we're there at the end of the rope. Shouts out to everyone that came. Shouts out to those who'll be watching this later on Instagram or YouTube. And any other place, go check your brother out at Adventurous Speaks. And other than that being said, peace and one love. Until next time, we are out.